Welcome to Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn."
My team's about to...
talk about his statements. Or
What's an objectively bad statement? What?
Multiple ones. When he goes on and
name one.
Sure.
Name one.
When he goes on to a Twitter space and he's saying things like, Twitter needs a full rewrite. And somebody's like, what do you mean? What's wrong with the stack, bro? And he's like, who are you? And he starts crying. When Elon comes out and he says things like, can advertisers really pull out of my platform? That seems illegal. Maybe I should sue them. These are insane statements. When people come out and Elon is being asked about like, hey, do you offer targeted advertising on Twitter? And he's saying, well, I don't think that's possible. These are stupid statements made by a guy that has no fucking idea what platform he's running. Those are three objectively, like, factual statements that he has made that are objectively, factually fucking stupid, right? And that's on top of all the other business stuff I listed earlier. These are not, like, left-wing, right-wing, blah, blah, policy problems. These are bad things that Elon's doing. He's incompetent when it comes to running this company. I'm not mad. It is fun to watch.
You're pretty...
Okay, never mind. You're emotional, and you don't like to when I attack that.
I'm emotional?
Yes.
I'm emotional.
I just gave you fact after fact after fact, and you go, well, I think that you're just upset.
You factory game to go yell about facts.
I think I'm giving you all of my attention.
It's not a fact. It's not a fact that it's stupid because he's talking in a different way about advertising.
No, it's a fact that he's stupid because he doesn't know about targeted advertising when that's been the norm for the better part of the last decade at least. Go buy advertising on Facebook right now or on AdSense right now. Of course you can target users. Anybody that's ever bought a single ad in their life knows that. Or it's not stupid to criticize him for everything that he says related to programming or dev work is the stupidest shit ever. This guy discovers like 2 errors in code and he's like tweeting out like, oh, we just made the whole fucking Twitter mobile app like 15 milliseconds more responsive. Like, bro, what are you even fucking talking about? Like, shut the fuck up. Like, everything that he says, like, reeks of, like, a child that's, like, running around in a factory and he's excited to discover that he, like, can, like, I don't know, like, mop up a corner or something. He's just dumb. He's just stupid when it comes to everything having to do with this company. He hasn't said anything insightful. He's wasting a fuck ton of money. He set, like, a whole pile of cash on fire. The sale was so fucking bad, he was, like, pleading to the courts to let him out of his deal that he agreed to sign on to. He knew that when he bought the company, he overvalued it massively. People that own stock, like, made out like bandits. What did he buy it for? Was it $47 a share or something? When that thing was trading for what, like 35 or 30 over the counter? Like, it was insane. Everything about the deal.
That's a great investment. Being able to take over mainstream news and being able to own public reports is something that's going to be really valuable in the long term.
Okay.
People don't trust the news at all. More people are going to Twitter to digest the news than they have ever been compared to mainstream news. And of course, right now, the 5 talking points of leftists are going to be saying like, oh, it's bad. Elon's style. They're going to want to insult him because he's trying to put on the way on Elon to insult news. But in the long term, decentralizing information and bringing it back to Twitter and the public square is a better investment for the future. I think a lot of what you're saying is stuff that the leftist news wants you to think because they don't like you.
No, hold on. Hold on. Okay, hold on. I watched so many of your old videos. This is the only reason why I've entertained this conversation so much. I know that there's like an intelligent young man inside that brain of yours, okay? This is like the 3rd time you've said leftist bot talking points. All I've given you are straight raw facts. I have not given you a single, I've mentioned hate speech or racism or any political statement whatsoever. Everything I'm giving you is facts. And you keep running behind this like, lefty talking points. Well, you're giving me the lefty talking points.
You saying it's a stupid point. You saying Elon's stupid is not a fact.
It is when he's making stupid statements. Do you disagree that any of the statements that I just referenced are stupid? Do you want to go over any of them?
I'm not sure if those are stupid.
Okay, I'm telling you they are. You can bring in a programmer, you can bring in somebody that works in advertising, you can bring in like anybody else in the industry and ask them, and they'll tell you the same fucking thing. Like, Elon is like a laughing stock right now for everything having to do with Twitter. Like the people at Tesla want to kick him. No, for business people. Fuck politics, bro. It's not about my people. The people at Tesla want to kick him off the fucking board there too because he's nosediving the value of his fucking company. There are people that aren't buying cars now because of how fucking insane he is on Twitter.
It's an electric car company. It's marketed towards leftists who care about climate change and a bunch of that psyop bullshit. They're like electric cars. It's different because Elon used to represent leftist ideas and now he's seen as this right-wing martyr.
Okay, well let's say that I grant all of that to you, okay? If your primary fucking market is leftists, then maybe you should be careful if that's the main company that you're borrowing against to buy another company in order to keep your shit afloat. Maybe you should shut the fuck up then and not lose your primary fucking customer. If I were to grant that, that would be like, he still has like better decisions to make than going onto Twitter and acting like an insane lunatic and then losing his primary fucking customer base for his other company.
Insane lunatic because he's talking about targeted advertisers is a giant stretch.
Insane lunatic because all of these Twitter leaks have been a fucking joke, because all of the statements that he's making about like voting for conservatives, and that's the most important thing to do, and fucking Fauci needs to go to jail over the fucking vaccines, all of these statements are unfounded conspiratorial nonsense. He doesn't need to be making them, and he shouldn't be, because he's the CEO of, he's representing a lot of different companies out there. How would you feel if you'd invested 6, 7, 8 figures into some of these companies, and now the cheerleaders out there for the company, the CEO, acting like a fucking clown, tanking the value of your fucking investment?
Fuck all these Tesla people. I think Elon genuinely cares about free speech, and this is more important. It's more important.
If he cares about the future of free speech,
he's taking sacrifices right now for the business.
No, he's not. He's taking sacrifices
He
for being an idiot, for retweeting bullshit about like Pelosi's husband. Like, what the fuck is he doing? He's not even like he's not taking hits for free speech. He's taking hits to act like a crybaby, like a little emotional snowflake. He even sounds like an autistic snowflake. Bro, if there was a leftist with Elon's voice and mannerisms, yeah.
Hey guys, we're gonna talk about Twitter today, and what I'm gonna do.
Bro, if Elon Musk was a leftist, you guys would be making fun of his appearance and his voice and his mannerisms fucking constantly, okay? The guy talks and looks like a rat.
I like Elon Musk.
Of course you do, sure.
Let's have this conversation again in 6 months. I think Twitter is gonna take over, and
An enemy has been slain.
Metastock. People in my chat are saying Metastock has been down 65%.
Over the year, yeah, Metastock has gone down fuck ton. But you mentioned over the past month or two, I think is what you said. And over the past month, it's been up 6 points because obviously Elon has cut, or Zuckerberg is cutting a lot of the, cutting a lot of the VR shit out.
Well, Merry Christmas, Destiny.
Yeah, I love
Always
you.
cashing
Wait,
up.
do you want to watch? Do you want to watch a clip together?
One clip.
Hold on. Make Sneeko watch the Twitter space clip of Elon muting text and asking engineers who they are for pushing back. Have you seen that clip before? I think it's the one where he talks about needing a full rewrite.
Not
All right, let me know when you're ready to go. We'll start at the same time.
Would you clip? The audio's gonna come from yours,
No, you gotta click it really quick.
3, 2, alright, play.
Density of features as high as possible.
Yes. I mean, I think, frankly, if you want to have a really high velocity of features, I think we'll do a total rewrite of the whole thing.
Wait, seriously, a total rewrite. That's your prediction for velocity.
Yeah.
Well, when you say a total rewrite, do you mean starting with the skeleton or a bunch of engineers with a whiteboard and say what is Twitter? Revolutionary form.
I mean, I just mean like literally, like you try to amend the crazy stack that exists, or rewrite it.
But when you say crazy stack, what do you mean? Like, break it down.
Have you seen George's like diagram?
No. I mean, like, what do you mean by
Are you-
crazy? No, seriously.
Do
crazy
you?
stack. Come on, buddy. Come on.
Who are you?
What do you mean, the grandma? I don't know. You gave me the fucking money.
I didn't give you the
Whoa,
mic.
I'm doing the mic, and let's keep it civil in my space.
I mean, yeah.
Like what? No. You're in program, whatever. Like what do you stack?
Keep things
Come on,
technical.
man. Take me from top to bottom. What does the stack look like right now? What's so crazy about it? What's so abnormal about this stack versus every other large-scale system on the planet? Like, come on.
Wait, first off,
Amazing. Wow, you're a jackass.
Okay.
All right, no. I got no credibility here, buddy. I got no idea.
Hey,
what I'm
let's
talking
keep,
about.
First off, let's
let's
keep my space civil.
Like,
We removed him from.
Yeah, he should have known more than just.
Or said
rewrite.
anything at all, right?
Yeah, I think that was a PR stunt. Him saying rewrite. That first when he first joined, he opened up the closet and there was a bunch of his shirts that said "Stay woke." I think he basically meant like the whole idea of Twitter needs to be changed, but he didn't know anything about the code specifically that need to.
Okay, but like this is a lot of people are gonna miss this, okay? But this is one of the reasons why this particular clip is so painful, in my opinion, and 92% of people are gonna miss this in the public, is that Elon's excuse constantly for being such an autistic fuck about everything that he does is, well, I'm an engineer. Well, I'm an engineer. Well, I'm an engineer. Okay, that's why he's bad at PR. That's why he's bad at speaking. That's why it's like, okay, fine. So when you get into things like maybe development or engineering, that would at least be the one area where I would expect him to say something like intelligent. But here, he sounds like every clueless middle manager ever. Guys, we need to rewrite the stack. What the fuck do you mean, rewrite the stack? What the fuck is wrong with it? Well, we just need a full rewrite. What do you,
Yeah,
what the
going in. Yeah, but I don't know if that could determine that he's an incompetent CEO of Twitter. Of course,
Sure, maybe
didn't
not.
know.
Just little
he
pieces.
didn't know past rewrite. He was saying that because it sounds good. He's like, oh, Elon's gonna change everything. He should not have called that guy a jackass for asking.
Sure. Here's the advertising one. Okay. Load up this one. Let me know when you're ready to go.
tweets.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
If Twitter can accurately recommend tweets to you that you don't explicitly follow, it can by the same token also show ads that are relevant to you.
So the way that a lot of platforms do ad sales and a lot of like purchasers expect ads isn't necessarily I'm going to give you these ads and I trust you to serve them to the right people. It's usually almost the opposite, where I want to target this group of people in this region who went to a Jiffy Lube in the last 72 days. That level of micro-targeting is something a lot of ad buyers now expect, and like it's a huge part of how CPMs can get so high for platforms like YouTube. But sometimes these advertisers will serve entirely different versions of the same ad to different
Can this guy on, please? He's just talking nonsense. Thanks. I've actually talked to the advertisers.
Yeah, okay, he didn't play the whole clip, but yeah, he thinks
Yeah.
there's an open discussion. That can't determine that he's an incompetent CEO just because he didn't want to hear this random guy tell him about targeted ads.
Well, the fact that he says that like that's not how it works, and then he gets like upset when somebody explains like really basic things. And again, I encourage anybody that wants to. You can go to. I think you can probably type in like buy ad Facebook. You might have to make a business account or something there, but like you can target like ads like crazy. You can do it with AdSense as well. Like, of course, that's what you're going to be looking for. And yeah, that's why CPMs are so high on these platforms, is because like you can target an insanely precise audience. That's like expected.
I prefer his method. I'm tired of targeted ads means that they start listening to you and they start checking your emails to figure out, like, you know, when you say like the word wine and then it shows up in your targeted ads a couple days. If less surveillance if I can.
You'd rather see random ads for like
I would
fucking.
rather pay. Yeah, I would rather pay a subscription model than be spied on all the time.
Okay, if you'd rather pay a subscription model, that'd be fine. But there are products for that, right? That's what. So do you own like YouTube? Well, I guess not for YouTube. But okay. What would be?
Yeah,
What would you?
If it's free, then you're the product, and then they're mining your own brain and their brain.
Yeah, of course, sure. Which is fine.
and
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
just
like that.
another way
I
to
don't
pay.
like that.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
I honestly prefer the subscription model. I think that's better for the future. And not everybody wants a blue check. I get it, but I think that's better.
Sure.
I don't like.
I don't think
targeted
most people prefer subscription models. If you just start paying for everything on the internet, I think people are gonna get pretty.
Not everything, but it's a sacrifice. I would rather pay than have be spied on all the time and be sold constantly.
Okay. Here's a question: what would you have to see? What would you have to see to be like, okay, fuck, Elon is fucking up? So advertisers pulling away, that doesn't do it for you. Investors at Tesla getting upset. Him potentially stepping on a CEO from Twitter isn't.
Tesla, I think, is completely irrelevant. And I think the best metric, because it's brand new, he's only been on for a couple months. it's Twitter. Like it is more entertaining. Like there's no
So
objective way I
entertainment
can say
factor,
this.
that's the only thing that matters to you. Is entertainment
That's
factor.
right now because it's brand new. The fact that it's 10 times more, and I'm even sure everybody in your chat will agree that Twitter has been 10 times more entertaining since Elon's taken over. We will see in a couple months, and we'll see how the stock is doing and how the numbers are doing. Because like the subscription model is brand new, there's no way to actually measure it right now. But the fact that it's more entertaining, I think it's good sign, especially for just what it's for. That's entertaining.
Okay. The Tesla thing is pretty important because I'm pretty sure that fucking like 95% of like Elon Musk's net worth is like wrapped up in Twitter, and I think he's selling off.
That's for his personal net worth, but you're thinking too much about his personal network and the PR rather than the future of free speech. It's a bigger conversation.
It's
Tesla.
Sure, but he has to manage that as a CEO. That's part of the like responsibility of being a billionaire. Is that your image and your profile is going to have a dramatic impact on companies that are essentially stock that's traded on your rep, right? Because it's not like
which is why he wants to step down. Which is why he wants to step down
Sure,
as CEO
okay.
and give it up to somebody else.
Okay.
But if he keeps making the calls behind the scenes and he keeps actually advocating for free speech, which he is, if you pay the 20 racks, bro, get back on Twitter. It's a boom right now. It's so easy to blow up on Twitter, and especially like people like us are getting sensitive to entertainment. Right now, the fact that it's brand new, entertainment value is the best metric.
What do you think about him banning and falsely accusing people of doxing him for posting the flight tracker on his jet?
How is that false?
Well, because one, it's not doxing, right? Like all flights are tracked in the United States as per FAA. And then two, didn't he explicitly say multiple times that he was never going to ban the guy that flight tracks his plane?
And then he got unbanned.
Did he unban him?
Yeah, he unbanned him.
I don't think that's true. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I saw it on my timeline.
So if I Google Elon flight tracker Twitter.
He was suspended for a couple days and he got back. And also, you got to empathize for him too. That guy jumped in the car. He was being watched, and a bunch of the leftists were. His kid was in a car and got stalked. And the flight tracker thing.
No. So Elon Jet is still banned. That account is still banned. Wait, unless this article is old. Let me check. Twitter.com/Elon Jet. Yeah, the account is still suspended.
What's the date of that article?
I just checked the account right now. The account is suspended.
How is that not done?
Because it's just the location of an airplane after it's landed.
That's what's happening.
Is it?
Posting someone's location in real time is doxing.
Interesting. Okay.
I worry for his safety right now. You have to admit that they definitely do not like him. The mainstream news doesn't like him. All the people in charge don't like him. Maybe there's an argument to be made that he's part of the globalist agenda because he wants everybody to be part of Neuralink. But as of now, he's probably going to be #1 when it comes to everybody in the media. He has a target on his back, and he needs to be careful.
Then don't fly a private jet that gets tracked by the FAA, whose like location is listed publicly on websites so they can never be taken down. You can Google right now. I think you go to like Flight Radar, and you can just search for any flight you want. You can see where it's at. I told you, for instance, that Melina was flying here. Like you can go and look up her flight right now and see exactly where she is in the air if you look at it. Like,
why are you telling everybody that? There's a difference between, yeah. I see what you're saying.
Flights. It's public flights. It's tracked in the United States. That's what our radars and shit are for. So yeah, you could go and look up where flights are. Like.
But he's at a different level of like. Did you see him at Chappelle's show? Like everybody woke, everybody with blue hair hates him.
Yeah, but that's his fault. He makes himself so fucking hateable. Like,
so he needs to protect himself as well. Like this is so I completely understand hiding that type of information.
Okay.
What'd you get me for Christmas again?
Are you in Miami?
Yeah.
Oh shit, we should go out to eat. Well, fuck, everything's probably closed tonight, huh?
There's gotta be like some Chinese shit. What time are you shooting for?
Mel gets home in a couple hours or something. If you want me to go out, it would have to be pretty late though, but I don't know if anything's gonna be open.
There's gotta be like some Chinese food or some. What did Jews eat?
Not pork, right? Oh shit, or is that Muslims?
That's Muslims. Come on, bro.
Oh, I don't fucking know. There was like a China buffet near me.
That's what Jews usually eat on Christmas. You know that this is the first year I'm not going home for Christmas. They don't I have blue hair, woke family, kind of like you, and they don't fuck my politics at all.
I mean, it doesn't take a blue hair people that don't want to fuck with your politics. But
It's never got to the point. It's never got to the point where I've been like uninvited.
Yeah, but has it ever gotten to the point where you're like publicly defending people saying they love Hitler? Like that's probably a pretty big departure from stuff you've normally been involved in.
I support what Jesus would do. On Jesus' birthday, Jesus would want everybody to be loved, and I tweeted, I love Jews and Nazis, which is what Jesus would do. Jesus would love everybody. I agree with that statement. I like the fact that he broke that final wall of the woke mob saying that. I'm not saying, I'm not a...
I don't think the problem.
and
I don't think the problem is just saying we should love everybody. I think the problem is saying like I love Hitler and I don't think the Holocaust really happened. I think that's more the issue.
I didn't say that.
You might not have, but that's what Ye said. So when you defend parts of his statements, you're kind of implicitly buying onto like the other parts as well.
No, that's not true. People don't really dig into that. So what's happening, I actually, recently, I don't know if you saw the Daily Beast wrote an article calling me racist for joining Ye's campaign, which is absolutely crazy. Like, I understand where Elon's coming from, because it just has an effect on people's lives, people who are so brainwashed and plugged into these ideas. They see Sneeko joins, racist YouTuber joins Ye's campaign, even though I'm a Rumble. They're like, oh my God, they're destroying our name. And they're putting all this, they're just trying to paint me as a bad, like who, it was a white dude writing this article calling me racist. Who the fuck do you think I'd be racist to if I'm joining Ye's campaign? It's
Probably
absolutely
Jews,
crazy.
I think is probably what people are thinking.
Yeah, but the Jews will also argue that they're not a race. The same, Ben Shapiro argues that, oh, well, Jews aren't a race, it's a religion. That's the biggest misconception, even though they are a race.
There's no shot Shapiro said that. I can't possibly believe that. No
Shapiro
way.
said that, yeah, he has.
I don't believe you.
Fuentes told me that, and that's a big reason why he doesn't want to debate him, because that comes down to identity politics. If you believe in Israel and if
Bro,
you're
Nick is one of the
pro-Israel-
biggest identity politics people in the world. What do you mean?
How? What, Christianity?
White nationalism? What do you mean? He talks about race.
He's not a white nationalist. He's a Christian nationalist.
One of the biggest points that he debates is the fundamental changing of the character of the United States after the 1965 Hart-Celler Immigration Act. That it changed the character of the country because we got so many brown people because of stuff like familial immigration. This is one of his biggest talking points. Go and ask him that if he could restrict immigration from non-white people and would he do it, he's going to tell you yes, that this country should look more like white Christian people. Ask him about the founding stock of America. Ask him about what the founders intended the United States to look like in terms of like racial demeanor. You should, seriously, like ask him. These aren't even like tricky questions. Just ask him what he'll say. Well, like, what do you think? If he thinks that like black and brown people intrinsically have like lower IQ than white people, why would he even want him here?
Well, that doesn't make a lot of sense if the fact that he's the director of the first dark-skinned president, first like actual black president ever. That doesn't make sense.
A black guy that's talking about how much he loves Hitler? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't
that make doesn't that actually make perfect sense? Doesn't that make more sense than literally anything else in the world? Isn't that the perfect thing that makes sense?
Okay, if he wants the country to be perfectly white, then he wouldn't be the communications director for the first black president.
Do you think there's anybody that is as popular as Kanye that Nick Fuentes could work with right now?
Trump.
I don't think Trump wants to work with Fuentes. Didn't Trump publicly disavow Fuentes?
He disavowed him, but at the dinner he said he was really impressed with Nick, and he said that Nick's really smart. He was complimenting him a lot.
Yeah, but he was complimenting him like...
After the GOP was disavowing him, he was like, oh, this guy, I don't really think he actually disavowed him.
Hold on.
He didn't know. He didn't know that Fuentes was
He didn't know anything about Fuentes. Fuentes probably showed up and was well-spoken, and Trump being Trump was like, oh yeah, he seems like a nice kid.
He knew about Fuentes. He put the face to that guy's name. He knew that he was leading some of the Stop the Steal, and he was at January 6th, but he didn't know exactly who the person was. But he was impressed with him, and I think that in another circumstance, Trump would benefit greatly from having Fuentes on. Basically, the point is like the fake news mob is very strong, and now it's happening. I mean, it happened to you too, and I'm surprised you didn't shift at all, especially like when. I mean, I'll go back to us getting played in the Senate, but they completely have a monolith on groupthink, and look, like it's affected my personal life. Like now, I'm at the point where now I'm streaming on Christmas, talking to you, because a lot of people in my personal life, they're like, I'm racist, they don't want to associate with me, but that essentially, if you go down, it comes from a place of love. It's love speech, loving everybody. I don't love
blaming the Jews
did.
and talking about how the Holocaust is not real is not coming from a place of loving everybody.
I don't agree with that. That's not what I
That's
believe.
fine if you don't agree with that, but that's what Fuentes talks about. That's what Kanye's been talking about. It doesn't matter if you agree with it or not. That's what they're saying, and that's what people are reacting and responding to.
Yeah, I'm wondering what's your predictions for that campaign?
For what? Ye's campaign?
Yeah.
I think he'll get bored and drop it in a month or two. But I could be wrong. But that's what he did last time he was running for president.
Do you think that? How do you think it's going to change public discourse? Because nobody's talked about this. There's nobody's been that vocal about Jews since Hitler.
I mean, it's making everybody a lot more worried about like fucking anti-Semitic shit in the United States, so it's having that impact at least. But like in terms of lasting changes and shit, I have no idea. I don't know. None of the like anti-Holocaust stuff. None of that gives you pause for concern or anything.
I understand questioning it. I understand people's apprehension of the fact that you have to say 6 million. But one of the statements that triggers me, and I don't get triggered often, but saying I don't care about your dead grandma, or I don't care about your dead. Like these people are still alive, you know. There's people that survived it that are still around to this day. I think that's a bit insensitive, and even a lot of people in my chat would disagree with that. But imagine going up to a black person and saying, "I don't care about your dead slave family." I think it's the same thing.
Okay.
He's what? Your factory game?
No, just the wild path your life has taken.
Yeah, it's been a lot since I first spoke to you. Like it's been a wild year. Like what have your end of year reflections? But this has been by far the craziest year of my life. Like I've been doing a lot of reflecting, thinking back. Like when I first spoke to you, I was a brokey in Brooklyn, just like kind of talking and like still doing YouTube stuff like that. Since I first talked to you, I've met Andrew Tate, I've met Ye, part of this. Like Woke Mob came after me, canceled by Big Tech. Distance myself from like a lot of people don't want to associate with me anymore. It's been by far the most wild year of my life, and part of like that first conversation was like the first domino. But to end up here now, it's like anybody in your chat too. Can you like imagine being in that position? Like what's your end of the year reflections? Like you've been streaming for a long time. Is this been an abnormal year? Or is this regular?
I mean, every year gets a little bit more crazy than the last, which is kind of how it goes. I'm just curious, and I'm not like saying that I guess at the end of the day, you think I'm wrong. But like, do you ever worry, or what do you do personally to like keep yourself from falling down just like a really bad hole of like, fuck, I might be completely wrong on everything, and like realizing that like too late? Do you ever worry about that, or do you ever think about that?
No, never. Wrong about what?
Anything, everything.
Name what's one thing that you think that I could consider being wrong about?
It's not so much like disagreeing about a particular thing. So like for me personally, one of the biggest fears that I have in life, because I'm a streamer, so I have a fan base that has a vested interest in, and I could have a vested interest in having a certain political opinion, right? Have you ever heard of the term audience capture?
No.
Audience capture is like, let's say that I give a whole bunch of like ultra blue pill takes like all day, every day. Well, what's going to happen is my audience is going to come to expect me to say that. And so what if I run into a problem in the future to where like I want to give a political take about something and I don't agree with the blue pill shit, but now I feel like I'm forced to because like my audience wants me to. Yeah, that's called audience capture.
Oh no, I have that all the time. I go back and forth my chat saying like Walaban, W Taliban, Whitler every single day. I had a Jewish woman on yesterday. Like the chat was just a lot of it's trolling because one of the free platforms people are but like people are being like she's a Satanist, she's the devil, she's a succubus, and I openly disagree with them on that. But I think it's good to have back and forth, and I don't think that's ever going to happen because part of my brand is being able to learn and to add information, to go back and forth, and to change my opinion about things. I like to actively grow and learn on my streams. I don't see myself getting myself boxed in there. And I don't think I hold any like hardcore. If you look like to the core of my beliefs, it's like I try to follow God, and I don't trust people who want to control me. So our first discussion was about how much we trust the government. You trust the government, and I don't. Ultimately, my worldview is down to the fact that people who want to keep me controlled, and people who want more money do not have the best interest of the population in mind. They want us to be controlled, and they want to keep us as pawns. And I don't see myself ever changing that belief, because that just makes sense if you look where the money goes. That's where you find the truth. If you follow the money, you could see where the truth lies, and I don't see that ever changing.
Okay, so do you mind if can I ask you a hard question or hard questions? Yeah, I'm not. This is gonna sound like I'm grilling you, but I'm really just interested. Do you believe me when I say that, or do you not believe me?
About audience capture?
No. That I'm like, because there's two ways, and I can understand, especially at this point, because of how different we are, especially politically. Like, you can either think I'm asking questions because I'm interested, or you think I'm asking questions I'm trying to get like a dunk from my audience to like shit on you. Or
no,
whatever.
I think right now you're genuinely interested. This is like
Okay, yeah, gotcha. All right, just curious. Okay, so this is like a problem that I have from my perspective when people usually say this thing like, oh, we just need to, like, I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions. That's like a really common thing that I hear a lot, okay? I think that just asking questions and doing your own research, I think that those are two things that are actually really good. I think those are amazingly good things to do. But the issue that I run into is that every time people talk about like doing their own research or asking questions, they don't actually do any research. They just kind of like listen to like a podcast person, or they just like take somebody's word for it, or they watch like maybe one YouTube video that's like highly conspiratorial.
What's your definition of research? Like academic articles?
Sure, like reading a variety of articles, like getting a variety of news sources, like seeing like, well, what does the mainstream, what does the alternative media have to say, what does a historian have to say, what does an expert have to say, what do people on the ground have to say, like getting like a variety of sources based on something.
That's what I do, man. I professionally interview people. I interview people on the street. I have debates with people regularly, people like you, people who believe in antidepressants. I take in a lot of different information. I challenge my beliefs consistently, way more than the average person.
Sure. I guess my question is like in regards to, because the thing that obviously is blowing up for everybody is like the Holocaust related stuff. If people want to be critical of the Holocaust, I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, do we just have to believe every figure, like, without anything else? Like, is that really how it's supposed to go? Doesn't that seem kind of shitty? And I agree that it could seem kind of shitty. But, like, have you ever done any, like, actual, real, additional research on the Holocaust? Where you're, like, breaking open a book or, like, watching, like, a documentary?
I've read books. I've watched a lot of documentaries. I cross-reference the stuff I learned in school and different historians. There's even a lot of people that say that, I'll talk about a World War II story that I read, and people be like, that's a Bible story, this guy, and then I'll check out this video from a different religion. You have to, yeah, I do.
So, okay, so then here's like another hard question, and if you don't want to answer any of these, by the way, you don't have to. Okay, I'm not trying to like make you like blah blah blah. Do you think that like I'm just trying to, because I know what Fuentes' believes on this. Do you think that like 6 million Jews like actually died? Do you think that number is massively overinflated, or that it's about right, or like do you have any opinions on like number of people that have died in the Holocaust?
Okay, here's my answer because I don't want to get put in a no-fly list.
Sure.
But
wait, never mind. You don't even have to answer.
No, I'll answer. I'll answer.
Okay,
I don't want to get a no-fly list. I'm like, well, what I can confidently say is there's no way to know like if it's gas chambers, how are you going to be able to count who's counting 6 million corpses? It's impossible. There's no way to actually track that. Just like in any other war, in any complete genocide, there's no way to actually know how many people it is. And just the fact that they say it's 6 million, no more, no less, is a very weird number. And the fact that like you're called a Holocaust denier, if you even question that number, it sets off alarm bells in my head. So it could be a lot more, it could be less, but like actually 6 million, there's absolutely, especially with gas chambers, there's no way to know that. Who's doing the tally marks?
Okay, so this is a good example of what I'm talking about. So I think that question is a really good question. But I think that that's like the very first question that you would ask. So then my question would be, do you know how they tallied up the dead people? Or have you not looked into like even that most big? Because I'm only going by earlier, you said you'd watched documentaries and you'd read multiple books and you'd consulted multiple historians. Do you know how they came up with the numbers of how many people died during the Holocaust?
When it comes to World War II, there's different information for all of this. I've heard every single side.
Okay, but like, doesn't it seem like that should probably be like a pretty basic like answer in terms of like, well, how do we know how many people died during the Holocaust, right? Like, it feels like that would be like the first thing that a historian would probably go over. World War II, to my understanding, is the most studied historical event in all of human history, bar none. World War II is the most studied event. A lot of historians, still relatively modern, getting into like lots of sophisticated record keeping, a lot of different actors involved. Like, World War II is insanely well studied. Do you really think that 6 million number just like pulled out of nowhere and nobody's really thought about it?
Of course people thought about it, but like even just article I pulled up, it's like they're saying, and this is encyclopedia.org, it says towards the end of the war, Nazis attempted to destroy much of the documentation. And of course, there's so many conflicting ideas, and there's so many different personal interests with all these countries. The entire world was remapped after World War II. There's just, I don't think there's any way to
Wait,
ever
hold
know.
on. The entire world was not remapped after World War II.
Okay, that's an exaggeration, but all of Europe was remapped.
All of Europe was not remapped after World War II. Pretty sure
much.
most of the original border. Now, there were a couple of countries that got cut up in the southeast, but it's not like France and Germany and the UK and like Italy and all these countries like redrew all of their fucking borders.
Okay, a good part of Europe was remapped after. My point is that there were so many different interests from all these different countries. I don't think I can't be convinced by any, like, what historian. Everybody has their own personal interest. Who could you trust? When, from what nation? Everybody has different biases when it comes to this. Who could you actually trust when it comes to this?
A consensus of historians working across multiple countries to like figure out what's going on, right?
And then the Alex Jones people will say, like, okay, but historians from all different countries are trying to push the globalist agenda, so they're going to push one specific narrative.
But the
there's
Alex
no way to
Jones
actually
people,
know.
how many of those people are like speaking German and then digging into historical archives to figure out like what happened historically, you know, during World War II? Like, are these real people that have done real research, or are these people that are like screaming about like a Twitter post that they saw, right? Like, wouldn't you weight that differently? Like, a lot of World War II historians, especially those who deal with the Holocaust, it's kind of like doing like moral philosophy. Like, they speak German. Like, nobody will take you seriously talking about deontology. You can't fucking read Kant like in the native language, right? And it's the same thing too, I think, for a lot of World War II researchers. Like, a lot of these people will actually read German because they want to read the original documents relating to a lot of the historical events that they're going over. And you would compare somebody that's like digging through archives to like Alex Jones, who's going on like Twitter headlines, who's never seen an original World War II document or read a primary source about any of this probably in his entire life? Or like,
Yeah.
I guess like a question would be like, what evidence could possibly convince you otherwise? Oh, and then also, I would be careful here, as weird as this sounds, I wouldn't want to slander Alex Jones here because Alex Jones fucking hates Nazis, and he absolutely would not be on board with like the Holocaust revision
Wait,
stuff.
I'm not slandering Alex Jones.
Sure. No, well, I don't want to, because it sounds like we're using Alex Jones as an example of somebody that would deny the Holocaust, and I don't think Alex Jones would. I think Alex Jones is a pretty big Holocaust believer.
I'm not even denying the Holocaust. I know the Holocaust happened. Just the baseline point is that.
Well, but
they
your
stick to
idea is
exactly
that
6 million.
Sure. Do you think the Dresden bombings were about as bad as the Holocaust?
No.
Or have you heard that talking about? Okay, because that's the talking about. Like, it's never a full-on denial. That's like old school. That's like stupid, like old Nazism, right? The new neo-Nazi talking points are like, well, no, of course the Holocaust happened, but there's probably like a few 100,000 Jews, not 6 million. How could you even know the numbers? Could the gas chambers really run that fast? If you were trying to bake 6 million cookies and you only had 11 ovens working full time, where are the smoke clouds? Weren't the doors made out of wood, right? Every single one of these points is addressed by historians if you take the time to like read any of it. But it feels like a lot of people don't actually take the time to dig through it. They just say like they do their own research and then they don't. I guess like ordinarily it'd be kind of like a whatever meme, like I don't really care much. But like when it seems like anti-Semitic rhetoric in the United States is like on a huge upswing, and then like people like you are kind of like being responsible for driving more of it. I don't know. I just think it's a little bit sad and a little
You think
bit
I'm
scary.
pushing anti-Semitism?
Yes, absolutely.
What part of what I said is pushing anti-Semitism?
When you say things like, I think that the number of Jews killed during the Holocaust is grossly exaggerated. That's an anti-Semitic talking point.
I didn't say it was exaggerated. I'm saying there's no way to actually know. I didn't say that it was.
So you think
less or it's
more than 6 million Jews could have been killed?
I think it's impossible to strictly determine that it was 6 million.
Okay.
I didn't say more or less.
Sure, I can tell you why it's anti-Semitic, right? If it's impossible to know, why do we use that number?
I mean, it's very effective at silencing any anti-Semitism. The ADL and all these.
Yeah, okay, that's
I really don't want to get debunked, but like.
Sure, I know, but that's it. So that talking point is anti-Semitic, right? The idea that Jews are leveraging the Holocaust in order to shield themselves from criticism, that's an anti-Semitic talking point,
That's
right?
not an that's just true. They use that. They use the Holocaust to silence anybody who has any criticism towards Jews, and you don't see any other race. And I constantly say that black people should be able to do the same thing with slavery, and they don't. Jews have used that to become stronger. They use the Holocaust to completely prevent that from happening again. It's not anti-Semitic.
Okay, hold on.
It's smart.
Firstly,
It's
black
smart that
people,
they do that.
first of all, black people do use that. Okay, we just had the whole fucking BLM riots. Okay, I don't know if you remember those or not. So black people in the United States absolutely do talk about their history as well. But
I don't know if that was black people that were benefiting off of the
okay,
BLM
it was
riots.
BLM. But regardless, okay.
There was more black violence during BLM there has been in the past.
Okay, that's
several
fine. And
years.
there are more people that defend Jews than just Jewish people, right? There's white people too, right? So Do you
I
think that?
defend Jews all the time. I defend.
Okay, don't you think it's possible? Don't you think it's possible that one of the reasons why they want to like keep reminding people of this is so that you don't like slip back into that anti-Semitic world that Jews have a?
Exactly.
Yeah, but now you're
agreeing.
doing it. We're not agreeing. You're saying that they're using it as a shield from criticism. I'm saying maybe they're just bringing it up because they're worried that like another fucking Holocaust might happen.
I mean, it comes from the same place. They don't want another Holocaust to happen. They use that to band together and become stronger.
No, those are two wildly different claims. Saying like, hey, don't forget this because I don't want to get fucking genocided again is a lot different than saying like, they're using this to increase their power so that they can have Israel be the rightful ruling country of the world. Those are
Okay,
two...
it started with that, and now it's very useful in having ultimate power.
Ultimate? What is the ultimate power?
Silencing any criticism and shutting people up as soon as they criticize. As soon as they say anything. Ye said DEFCON 3, I'm going to go DEFCON 3 and do this before, and then they continue. Look at how much power they have now because for so many decades they've said 6 million, 6 million, 6 million. They got to the point where they could just shut you out like that.
If I were to tweet out like I'm going DEFCON 3 on black people or trans people, you'd
You
probably
will
get...
be fine. You will be fine.
Hold on.
They
First,
said slavery
stop.
was a choice.
Wait. Hold on.
Several years ago,
Firstly,
nothing happened.
okay, first of all, no, he got a ton of heat for that statement. I don't know if you're not
He got dragged on Twitter. He didn't get debanked. He didn't get all of his. He didn't lose his Adidas deal. He didn't lose every. Bro, he didn't lose his bank.
Yeah,
accounts.
because that was a random
dragged
statement.
on Twitter. They
Bro,
just
he
called him
lost
dumb.
his Chase bank account shit was gone before he even made those fucking yay statements. He lost the Adidas deal, sure, but the Chase shit, he was talking shit about that bank way before he made any public statements for it. I'm pretty sure he was talking shit about the entire executive team because they weren't treating him how he wanted to be treated. But regardless of that, yeah, doing
No, Chase Bank was after the DEFCON 3 statement.
Google it. Go. I don't want to do every single story with you, okay? But Google Chase Bank drops yay, and that decision had been made because of comments that he made about that bank and the executives prior to any weird Nazi shit. The Adidas deal, I'll admit that the Adidas deal was lost, but the statements that he started making about Jews were even more extreme than the statements that he was making about black people and slavery. So, I mean, like, that's not that surprising. I don't think that's because
How was
Jews
it more saying slavery was a choice?
Did you even... have you even listened to Kanye's comments about that?
Yes.
Okay, what did he mean when he said that?
Saying that when you're enslaved for that long and you continue in that place, then eventually it becomes a choice if you stay enslaved after a certain amount of time.
An enemy has been
Close, kind of, yeah. What he's saying is that, like, slavery becomes like a state of mind, essentially, right? That, like, you can
Exactly,
get
after
locked,
a certain amount of time,
yeah,
you get
can
used to it.
Yeah, you can get locked into these mental patterns, you know. So those statements...
Like, you don't lose your Adidas deal for talking about any other ethnicity, any other...
No. But if he was out here saying, like, black people deserved slavery, or, like, slavery was fake, or I don't think it happened, or whatever, or, like, black people should be happy they were enslaved in America because now they got to come and live here, and it's way better than living in Africa. If he would have said shit like that, he probably would have gotten
You
fucked.
can't equate that to his comment. He said, I'm going to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people.
That's not all he said. He said I loved Hitler. He said he didn't believe in the Holocaust. He said the Jewish people control the media.
That was after all the cancellation.
Okay.
I love Hitler and everything was after the cancellation. Saying I'm going to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people.
Okay, let me I just want this to be entered in the record so when people go and fact check it, because you're wrong on this. I know you're wrong. But you can say it clearly. That statement. But do you think that I'm going to go DEFCON 3 on the Jews? You think that's the only anti-Semitic statement that he made for Adidas to drop them? That was the only one that he made. Because it wasn't. But I just want to hear you think. If you think that, you think that's the only statement that he made.
What else do you think it was?
I don't remember, but he was doing a lot of weird, like, tweeting and speech. I think, didn't he give that thing in front of the cars? Was that before the Adidas thing in front of the car where he's like, I'm not going to say who did it, blah, blah, blah. It was the Jews.
Red Media was after. That was after. The DEFCON 3 tweet was the first one.
Okay. Did he say, like, I can say anti-Semitic shit and Adidas won't drop me? Was that before Adidas dropped him?
That was before Adidas dropped him, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would have to go back and look at it, but I know he made more statements than just that one tweet.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, anyway. What else is that? Where have you been? Have you been, like, traveling back and forth between here and LA a ton lately?
No, I've been in Miami. I want to talk about this eventually, but like...
Yeah, you don't have to reveal anything. You're good.
Yeah, it's, there's a lot that I want to talk about eventually, but I just don't want to. It's really weird, like, meeting him after all these years.
Listening to this.
Yeah, and all that. There's so much that I want to say, but I don't want to. Yeah, it goes. He's definitely. There's nobody like that I've ever met. What do you think he's autistic?
Jesus. He's something. Wait, where do you are you allowed to say where you live now in Miami? Or like I moved to Miami Beach, so that's why I was curious.
Yeah, I live in Brickell.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so yeah, I don't know, or manic or something. Or something. He's something. But he thinks people only say that to him to try to lock his mind away. So.
A lot of people they do try to handle him. He tweeted out like how they were trying to take away his children. I've never seen that amount of pressure. He's been like very transparent about how Hollywood tries to control you.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have. Chappelle's talked about that a lot too, right? That was his whole thing for leaving and everything.
Yeah, did you even notice when he did that SNL speech, he gave out that statement before, like, just making sure he was reading that piece of paper saying, before I get into this, I love Jewish people. I'm not a bad person.
That was a joke.
I don't think that was a joke. I think he said it like it was a joke in a Chappelle way, because everything he says sounds funny, but I think that was genuine. That was him covering his ass.
No. That was genuinely a joke because he kind of sort of almost covered for Ye a bit during that fucking stand-up routine. That was definitely a joke. Yeah.
Did he? What do you say that covered him?
Well, like he was making jokes about like I'm not saying every Jew is blah blah blah, but if you go there, they might all be Jews. Like he was making like a lot of kind of like backhanded jokes like that. Like I don't think he was 100% in disagreement with.
He also wasn't completely defending. He was doing like observation. He did a good job of trying to put both sides of
I need an account. You have the copy paste, but what do you want to say?
Alright, man, enjoy your factory game. What time do you think you're gonna be done streaming?
Fuck, I don't know. Melina doesn't get back till like really late, so I'm not sure. But I'll shoot you a text when she's here. So we can do something.
Alright, cool. Make sure to use a good picture of me when your editor clips this
Tell
up.
August he's listening. Okay, August, yeah.
Yeah, August, like he's gonna make a picture of me looking like completely like manic. Like Sneako's anti-Semitic. I don't think I've said anything anti-Semitic. I'm genuinely not an anti-Semitic person.
I know you. I know you're saying you're not, but like just one more time for like maybe 3 people in your audience, I guess, to get this understood or whatever. The reason why Holocaust revisionism is considered anti-Semitic is because people usually claim that the Holocaust is either grossly exaggerated or entirely fabricated as a means for. That's fine. I don't care. But you're playing defense from when you
should care. No, you should.
When you
care.
say
if
things
you're
like
gonna call me anti-Semitic,
when you say things like how can we know the numbers, right? You're essentially claiming.
But you can say that about any war.
Okay, hold on. No, you can't say that anywhere because there's census numbers, there's registrations, there's logs of people entering and leaving camps, there's records of train cars full of people, there's census data from before and after, there's reports from family, there's all sorts of ways to track people. They're not just like throwing darts at a board. There's tons of different ways. And if you do a little bit of research, you can stumble upon all the different ways that they track people. If you really care about it.
History is written by the winner.
No, that's not true. History is written by historians. That's why there are negative things recorded in history about the United States of America, even though the United States of America has won the vast majority of its wars. That's why in the United States, even though we're the victors...
Where's the Nazi historian? Where's the Nazi historian who was part of that and then has now written logs about what happened? They got wiped out, or they're in Argentina.
They haven't gotten wiped out. There's plenty of people. David Irving was a huge writer trying to vindicate fucking Hitler's record, and that dude ended up going to court trying to sue people over calling him a Nazi, and he lost on the facts when his shit got reviewed. So no, there are historians even today, and he was a guy that dug through the archives and went through records and read original fucking shit in order to figure out what he's saying. No, there's tons of people today. There's tons of historians. Like, a lot of topics are debated hotly among these academic communities. Even if people try to...
Just listen to how even if, like, just me questioning the amount, I get labeled anti-Semitic. Just questioning the amount of people.
It's because...
is anti-Semitic.
The problem is that you don't understand, like... You just don't understand what asking questions like you understand you can do a lot of like damage by asking certain types of questions.
Asking a question is anti-Semitic.
Okay, if I were to walk around and I were to ask
is
you,
that
like,
what you're saying? Are you saying asking questions is anti-Semitic?
It can be part of it, yeah. If I were
that's absolutely insane, and that's how free speech dies.
If I were to walk around, if I were to walk, no. you're the one killing freedom of speech, okay? Because you're not asking real questions. You're playing word games. Because if you were asking real questions, like how do they know how many Jews died, you wouldn't even ask me that. That's a Google search away. That's literally 2 minutes of reading. But you haven't even done that. So you're not really asking questions. You're making points, you're disguising those points with question marks. And that's why people are claiming it's anti-Semitic. Free speech dies not when we can't ask questions. It's when people pretend to ask questions and bad faith actors destroy the discourse. And we can't have free speech anymore. Yeah, that's
You're
what's happening.
assuming by me asking a question that I'm making a statement that it's grossly exaggerated. That's never
But
what
you
I said.
are.
And
You-
I'm-
well,
and
okay.
I genuinely
Do you
don't
think?
believe that.
Okay. Do you think that it's the case that maybe way more Jews died in the Holocaust?
That's possible.
Okay. What do you think is more likely? More Jews or less Jews? If Jewish people are using the story to drum up support for Israel and Jewish people for Israel, would they exaggerate it? Or would they underplay it?
I don't think there's a way to know. And then I'm not leaning on either side.
Okay. All right. Well, anything else you want to go over?
Merry Christmas.
Okay.
W Jesus.
Merry
W
Christmas.
Jesus is Destiny
And you know
Chat.
what? Hey, happy Hanukkah if you celebrate it, okay? Have fun, buddy.
Yeah, happy Hanukkah, Lahan.
Okay, see you later, bye.
All right, bye.
Jesus. This tweet has a link to more context of the we need to rewrite. 11 minutes. Yeah, fuck it. Let's listen to it. I'm really tired. Oh, nice, dude. No fucking volume. Amazing. And sound fixer doesn't work. Hold on.
Hey, George.
Hey.
You should send out that diagram you made of the Twitter architecture.
Alright, I'll post
Yeah,
it.
it's epic.
You know, the worst thing is I don't
Okay.
the diagram itself is fine. That side. I think the problem is when you have thousands of engineers, they're going to get millions more.
Yeah. Is there like 20? Is there like 20 million likes on something like that?
Oh yeah.
Like that's a lot.
I've looked at the number of lines of just some of the microservices, and it's unbelievable.
It just, again, I have no programming background at all. I don't, and I'm truly just going completely out of my ass. I'm gonna be honest with you, 95% of my fucking programming knowledge comes from the Programmer Humor subreddit, okay? That's where like 95% of it comes from, okay? This just, it sounds like middle management to me, where you've got a guy who comes in and he's like, I think we need to look at improving, we need to streamline some of our microservices. And it's like, what's wrong with them? Well, I heard there's like 15,000 lines of code for them. It's like, okay, which ones do you want to get rid of? Like, what does that mean? Say something.
Turret plating will fall soon.
Okay, I found some stuff where people would just copy and paste code, and it looks like it was largely copy and pasted just so somebody could have committed a lot of lines.
Yeah.
Really? Is that, it's just somebody's like, look at how big my commit is as I just copy paste. Seriously? Is that really what's happening? Oh shit, Tag is in chat. Tag, what's up? I'll pull you on after if you want, okay? I'll pull you on. Yeah, I'll pull you on after.
If that's what the company's incentive structures are, you're going to end up with this. And I think a lot of people say that you need this complexity at scale,
No.
but it has nothing at all to do with scale.
No, it doesn't
Scale?
have anything. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Like, there's two types of scale. There's horizontal scale and vertical scale. Horizontal scale should require nothing. Vertical scale, sure, if you have like edges in a graph, it's going to be a bit to maintain. But, yeah, if you don't have that, it has nothing to do with the complexity. The complexity is just a function of the number of engineers in your organization.
Yeah, I mean, I always like to say, like, 1 point for every line of code and 2 points for every line. That's the structure.
Wait. Can we start?
I don't know. I don't. Like, does a line of code count? Like, if I put... I don't know. Never mind. I don't know. I truly don't know. Maybe that is how you should pay people. It's like per line of code contributed. Like, you need to, like, obfuscate with, like, the most ridiculously fucking complex fucking script, whatever dumb shit you could do. Like, it just sounds so stupid, right? That's the issue. But I don't know. I don't know. Just saying. I don't know, right? Like, am I getting paid, like, per curly brace here? Or like...
Start doing that at Twitter. A lot of people are writing a lot of lines of code.
No, it should be like, 2 points for, like, deleting a line, 1 point for adding a line.
I was sitting there this morning. One of the things that demoralized me was I was sitting there this morning reading Git log and watching all the new lines go into composing. I'm like, there's literally nothing I do anyway.
What does that even mean? Can you imagine this is the guy overlooking your fucking code? That like you fucking do your fucking project and you push through whatever fucking whatever branch you're working on, and then some guy emails me and was like, so I've noticed that you just submitted 47 lines of code. Did you really need that many? Couldn't you have done it in 30? Like, what do we even this sounds like a fucking this sounds like a parody. This sounds like some fucking not The Office. Yeah, The Office. I was gonna say Office Space. It sounds like The Office. It's like Michael Scott.
I mean, yeah. There is signal, but the signal really breakthrough is not great. Yes, it will be. But it's not great.
I worry about the lines going to code base.
That could be easy. That's a weird thing. Honestly, it's like that Microsoft get. Have you seen that? Which is super
Oh yeah, the YouTube video.
Accurate.
Yeah.
It's like where the guy's trying to add birthday to the profile, and it's gonna take like a year, and 8,000 microseconds.
You gotta go to Bingo. Bingo knows his name. Hit up Galactica.
And then it's I start timestamp. Oh man,
This isn't even where the crazy that feature in particular, the complexity of it has to do with its higher QPS than anything else at Twitter. So you have way more.
Oh my god. I was trying to think if I was a musician, what could somebody say to like trigger me like this? I want to see if somebody's connected to my brain with me saying that. Who is Elon Musk? Does anybody know? Does anybody know what just popped in my brain? Fuck, one person. No one's gonna get it. I don't know, it might be more... I don't think it's an obscure movie at all. Oh! NNN! My brother!
What happened? Oh, well, decidedly that. An excellent effort. You have shown us something... quite new tonight.
It is new. It is, isn't it, sire?
Yes, indeed.
So, then you liked it. You really liked it, sire.
Well, of course I did. It's very good. Of course, now and then, just now and then, it seemed touch.
What do you mean, sire?
Well, I mean, occasionally it seems to have. Oh, how should one say? How shall one say, Director?
Too many notes, Your Majesty.
Exactly. Very well put. Too many notes.
I don't understand. There are just as many notes, Majesty, as are required, neither more
This is like a one-to-one analogy. There are too many lines of code.
nor less.
But, dear fellow,
Which ones would you remove?
Only so many notes the ear can hear in the course of an evening. I think I'm right in saying that, aren't I, Court Composer? Yes. Yes. On the whole, yes, Majesty. This is absurd. My dear young man, don't take me too hard. Your work is ingenious.
Fuck, I'm gonna get copyright hit. Hold on, let me see if I can time steer this before it shuts my stream off.
It's quality work. And there are simply too many notes. That's all. Just cut a few and it'll be perfect. Which do you have in mind, Majesty?
And then Elon shuts down the call. Who is this asshole? I'm sorry, but this is exactly what it sounds like to me. Holy shit.
Impressions, way more views than you do likes. And
Yeah,
if you want to, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, the view count is already views are already being counted. They're just batched. And
Yeah.
So if you do a batched write, you can do a batched read. It should be like roughly equivalent. It's provided you don't care about in real time. It's like in real time, I think it doesn't matter for the view count. And for the larger audience out there, we're just literally trying to show people how many times a tweet was viewed, because that's really going to make Twitter pop a lot more than just looking at the number of likes, because people are reluctant to do public likes or replies, and you'll often see if people look at their own view count that the number of tweet views can sometimes be 100 times more than the number of likes. It's just there's so many people that use Twitter in read-only mode, because there needs to be like some sort of setting here where you can say, okay, I like something, but I don't want Earth to know that I like that thing. Or frankly, if let's say there was an earthquake. In fact, there was an earthquake today, but nobody likes an earthquake. It's noteworthy, and that should just be an indicator of interest where you can say, this is noteworthy. I don't heart an earthquake, but like right now, you have a choice of either hearting an earthquake or nothing. So
do we really?
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm gonna. Okay, so this is.
Dude, this is just like your manager comes to you like, we need more features. Okay, what do you want, boss? Okay, firstly, we need verification to be open for everybody. And also, that's going to be a fucking disaster. So we also need to reinvent verification. So after we open the first verification open for $8 a month, we also need to have a second verification to replace the first verification. Okay, stage 2. I want something that's like a like, but not a like. Okay, so maybe like a saw or like approve of. So like, give me like a secondary like. Even the current iteration of Twitter, and I'm not even like a big design guy, the view thing looks like ass. I don't know why the fuck they stuck this here. I don't like it. Do we need this? Does it matter? Like, I feel like you could already figure out between like we already had ratioing. You could already tell between like comment responses and fucking between comment responses and likes and shit. You could already tell like how popular a tweet was or wasn't. I don't know.
We can go off into product and say what product should be view counts. I shouldn't have even brought that up as whether it's a good feature or a bad feature or a hard feature. My point is, it is so impossible to move.
Views are good. The only reason why I don't like the views things is because I don't know what views mean, I guess. That's my issue with that's my issues with the views button. So like, for instance, if somebody's like liking something, I know that somebody's engaged. If somebody's commenting something, I know somebody's engaged with something. But I don't know if a view is like, let's say somebody's got their phone up and they just like scroll through like 100 tweets. Am I getting a view on that? Does that count as an impression? Or if somebody clicks like a tweet thread and the whole thing pops up, does that count as an impression? Or if it's like, I just have no idea. Or like right here, like even for this particular thing, even what I just looked at. So like when I load this page, did everything just get one view? Like every loaded tweet on this page? Or is it only when I scroll down far enough? Or do I have to hover over it? Or do I need to click on it to engage with it? Or, like, I have no idea like where these come from. That's like the annoying thing for me, I guess. That's why I don't like the feature. That's why I prefer like more solid metrics of engagement. But
Okay, and for my calculation,
wrong one. Okay, sorry, back to this.
In this code base because it was built by so many engineers. And I think this is true at every single fan company. And I think the way that you beat them is you figure out how to have, how about this? The same serialization and deserialization that is so expensive for all the microservices is also true for people. The cost to deserialize and like the cost to just get somebody onboarded and brought up is so high, and then what they end up doing is bad, that like, yeah, like this is where all this overhead comes from in both writing the features and in executing the code. Again, I think they're the same thing. I think the company's code base and the company itself are inextricably linked.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this is generally true that you can see the flaws in a product, that like whatever the flaws are in a company's organizational structure manifest themselves in the product, whether that's a physical product or as software. And so Twitter was incredibly siloed, so then you had incredibly siloed software development, where communication didn't make sense. Yeah.
Who raised their hand? Yeah, no, absolutely, Jeff.
But hey, at least Spaces is working.
Yeah. Theo.
I think another thing too for Elon answering these questions, like I think part of being a leader, I talk about this a lot, that like part of being an effective leader is learning how to delegate. If somebody wanted to come on and they wanted to ask me questions about like, oh, like can you explain like how your site works? Like my response would be, yeah, of course I can. Let me go ahead and grab Cake to do it, or let me grab Jada or somebody. Like I'm not gonna sit here and pretend to tell you like how our APIs work or how like the fucking chat services work, or like because I'm not gonna be able to explain it to you. I wouldn't even fucking try. I know that's outside of my wheelhouse.
Do you have any perspective on this? What should Twitter do?
I think that there's a lot of conflation here of like number of engineers, number of features, and amount of time, where like for a company to iterate on its product and change and add things like Spaces, there has to be a lot of exploration, and those teams will often build their own things in order to not get stuck by a lot of the mud that we're describing here. And I'm sure that a lot of the stuff building the WebRTC and the connection infrastructure for Spaces is relatively separate from the rest of the core Twitter code base. But now we have more things in the mental model to deal with, and that's how we end up with that crazy diagram with all of the parts. There's some level of consistency in the core Twitter features now that I could see viability in rewriting that set with a small core team. But in order to keep exploring in lots of different directions at once, there is some amount of additional headcount necessary. I totally agree that like trimming as much as was done makes a ton of sense, but there is some amount of growth necessary to explore more as your company grows and as your product set or features grow.
This guy sounds like he knows what he's talking
Much
about.
harder to build if you don't know exactly what it is you're building. But what you want to do is you want to make the velocity of features as high as possible.
Yes.
I mean, I think, frankly, if you want to have a really high velocity of features, I think the...
Oh, this is Tag. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. I just dick rode you so hard. Sorry. Fucking... Sorry. My bad. Jesus.
Do a total rewrite of the whole thing.
I'm assuming when you say velocity of features, are you referring to like how long does it take to implement something from like idea and wireframe to like deliverable feature that you can at least look in a testing environment? Is that like the velocity of the features? Like what is like the time to implement an idea, or at least to like have it in testing? Is that what that means? So I'm guessing like more fucked code base, longer time, slower velocity, more bullshit work you have to do. Definition to deliver. Yeah. Okay.
Just one feature.
Seriously, a total rewrite. That's your prediction for velocity.
Yeah.
Well, when you say a total rewrite, do you mean starting with the skeleton, or a bunch of engineers sit down with a whiteboard and say, what is Twitter? Revolution or reform?
I just mean like literally like there's like you could either try to amend the crazy stack that exists, or rewrite it.
But when you say crazy stack, what do you mean? Like break it down.
Have you seen George's like diagram?
No. I mean like, what do you mean by crazy? No, seriously. Come on, buddy. Come on.
Who are you?
What do you mean? Who am I? I don't know. You gave me the fucking mic. I got no.
I didn't give you
the mic. Whoa, I'm doing the mic, and let's keep it civil in my space.
I mean, yeah.
Like what? No, man. You're in charge of the servers and the programming, whatever. Like what is the stack?
Keep things textual in my space, please.
Take me from top to bottom. What does the stack look like right now? What's so crazy about it? What's so abnormal about this stack versus every other large-scale system on the planet, buddy. Come on, give it to me.
All right. So first off,
Amazing. Wow, you're a jackass.
okay.
All right, no. I got no credibility here, buddy. I got no idea.
Let's keep, first off, let's keep my space civil.
Here, you know, like
We removed him from speakers.
Good.
Elon,
What a
can I
moron.
can I go into it?
Yeah.
Okay. One of the biggest problems is that you can't run Twitter locally. So when I was at Facebook, you could run all of Facebook on a laptop. There is no way to run Twitter outside of a very bespoke configuration in a data center, and it makes it nearly impossible to build anything new on it.
Yeah. I mean, there's 20 million lines of Scala. Like, think about that. That's insane. The that have you?
So the other guy talking, that sounded like he knew something, right? So I imagine, and again, not a program, I don't know, but I imagine, I guess for a lot of larger like things, there's probably like scaled down versions where you can run something locally so that if you want to build new products or features, it's easy to have a local copy of something, you like emulate services, you program and you design something and you can see how it works. And not being able to do that with Twitter might inhibit like new feature discovery or whatever, right? Or creation. That sounds like that's a decent answer. I can understand that. Okay, cool, yeah, that makes sense. And then Elon immediately was like, yeah, 15,000 Antonin Scalia code lines, not good, you know? And it's like, okay.
Did you post that diagram?
No,
Okay.
I didn't post the diagram, but
Post the meme.
The joke of the diagram isn't that there's that many pieces. It's that when people think of a microservice, they think of 200 lines of code, not 200,000.
Yes.
And it's 200,000 for most of them.
It should be trivial to do something like add view count. It should be like literally another sort of line in a database.
So
Like,
that whether or not something is trivial to add, like all comes down to like the implementation of everything you've done. Sometimes adding a new thing, depending on like how your project is built out, can be incredibly easy. Other times it could like actually require an entire fucking rewrite, depending on like how things are done. I don't know. I'm being like really nitpicky. I don't like Elon. Man, and everything he says just sounds so fucking stupid.
it should be trivial, but
That's also like a middle manager thing. You've got like some like very old like archaic fucking database or some shit, and he comes in and he's like, hey, I want to be able to add like profile pictures. Like Facebook can do that. Like, can you just like add a line of code so that we can have like pictures in the database? And you have like no storage. You've got like no way to, and you're like, this is really complicated. He's like, no, it's really easy. Like just add like a box. Right? My friend does HTML. Just like add a box and then make so everybody can put a profile picture. And it's like, that request is way more complicated than you think it does, right? Or than you think it is.
not trivial because of the insane complexity of the Twitter software stack.
I disagree about view count. I think view count is actually inherently a hard feature. But for example,
Oh, so even the guy. Wait, is that the tag guy talking? Fuck. I don't want to dig right you fucking piece of shit if you're coming on.
right now there's a service
Or is that Jason? I don't know if that's a different guy.
that runs a model, and there's a service that calls that. Like there's a RPC to run a model.
No, that's
at
George.
Comma, it's one line if you want to put the model
Oh,
inside the
I see.
process. At Twitter, it's 2 weeks to get it.
Okay. All right. Do you want to message me or add me on Discord? I don't know what you want to add. Tag does not have permanency on the call. No, he just has to add me on Discord. I can hop in a random Vox channel from your server. Okay. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, I'm not gonna be able to fucking join any channel still. My shit is fucked. Wait, join general lobby. And I think I can do private calls for some reason. Well, you just made me before when you said you liked the changes to verification on Twitter. Oh no, my shit is working. No, it sounded like their original plan for verification. What I thought I heard initially sounded like a good idea. It sounded like they were going to keep the original verification process in place, but they were going to open it up to people to pay to get access to the verification process. Not just like you spend like $8 and you automatically verify. That sounds fucking stupid, right? I feel like I heard him say initially that was what the plan was, and then it just became like, oh, $8 for a check mark. What are you guys doing here? What the fuck?
We were hanging out.
Why are you hanging out in Destiny's room? This is my room.
Yeah, we were gonna also help you out with the
Oh, who are you?
George.
Oh, it's
Giving me a physical hug, bro.
That's Facebook guy.
Yeah, no, I know who it is. I just checked. Well, but I don't know you as I'm gay, gay/gay. Are you making fun of pronouns with that?
He's gay.
Yeah.
Is that your pronouns, gay? When you say he's gay, don't you mean gay's gay?
Yeah, he's gendering him.
Listen, I have like multiple people in front of me.
Well, cool. Hold on, I'm waiting for that guy to join General Lobby. If he can figure out how to do it.
George Hans?
No, the tech guy who was in this call apparently is also in my chat.
Theo?
Is it Theo?
Yeah.
He's T3 is what he said, I think. He said I'm in waiting room.
T1, waiting.
Oh wait, is it Theo?
Yes.
Are you sure that's him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the guy in chat? Oh,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Oh. Hi, what's up?
Yo. Yep. That's BOT3.GG. I suck at thing.
Cool. Well, what's up? How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. Happy holidays.
Dude, happy holidays, man.
Yeah. So
Oh, dude, this is a cheek Twitch guy. The dude with the dyed blonde hair.
Yeah,
that
wait,
we
are you like
watched
an
or
employee at
whatever.
Twitter?
This is him. I didn't really
No,
watch
I was
Destiny.
an employee at Twitch for about 5 years, and then I quit. Now I run a startup.
Wait, what were you doing on Twitch?
This is the
that I'm
T3
still
stack
fucking banned?
guy.
Yeah, I am one of many who was very frustrated by that. Probably the only one on the safety team.
Wait, hold on. When did you stop working for Twitch?
2017. I stopped in 2020.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Wait, 2020.
No, that's what I asked. When did you stop working for Twitch?
2020. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait, were you part of Trust and Safety?
Yeah, it was Trust and Safety. I don't know if I said 2020. 2021, at the beginning of last year, I left finally. I was in Creator when I did that. As many Twitch employees, was reorged like 7 times and also hopped teams a lot. So I started on Creative. I wrote the video in for Bob Ross Marathon, like the Power Rangers, Mr. Rogers, all that stuff. Hopped over to VOD. It was a nightmare. Hopped over to Safety. Built a lot of the internal video internal stuff there. Then I built ModView. Really proud of that still. Got bored. Went over to Creator. Tried fixing the dashboard in Studio. Got really frustrated with those teams and gave up. And here I am.
Do you know, is his name, can you start with an R? The head of the guy? Do you know what I'm talking about? For Trust and Safety?
Oh, yeah. If it is who I think it is, yeah, he's a good friend.
Yeah, he seemed like a cool guy. I had lunch with him and, a few times, but he couldn't save me, so fuck him. I don't like him anymore.
You weren't savable. I'm sorry.
All good, don't worry. One day, when Twitch is crumbling, they'll come crawling back to me, okay?
Yeah. I've been, like, I could go on a whole rant about what's happened to, like, the politics scene on Twitch, but your presence is missed.
Yeah, don't worry. Oh god, Melina told me a fucking horror story about she went to like they invited a bunch of creators to like how can we improve IRL content on Twitch for like a summit thing or whatever at TwitchCon, and it was like her. Oh, did you hear about this?
There was a few things like this. I haven't heard in detail this one.
Oh yeah, it was her and like a few other people. I think maybe SPPH, maybe Jake and Bake, and then it was like this like legion of like fucking like politics streamers, like Denims and stuff like that. And apparently they spent the whole time talking about like politics streams. And Melina was like, "It's so fucking awkward being here, like with you being banned, and then they're not talking about any IRL content except for like this stuff, like this politics shit." And it was like the cringiest fucking. But I wasn't there to see it, so I just know by her reporting. But I thought that was funny.
That's hilarious. There's a bunch of those like awkward partner rooms. I had a fun one where like I had access to a lot of staff stuff because I'm also a streamer and a partner on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
So I got into some of the like partners networking with like the higher up Twitch staff stuff. And since there's been so much churn over the last year or 2 years, almost nobody recognized me. So I was able to go in like an unfamiliar face and just like figure out what the hell's going on. And I have never been more bearish on Twitch. It's a total shit show. I'm upset. I had a conversation with Emmett not too long ago, like 4 or so months ago, and he started swinging me the other way, but just like all of his hires have been bad. All of the decisions have been worse. They've treated me in particular like absolute shit. I'm so done with Twitch.
Has he, well, you're literally done. You don't work anymore, right?
Yeah, I still stream on Twitch. But
Yeah. Are you wait, is Emmett still CEO?
Yes,
Oh,
somehow.
okay. Justin's not there anymore, right?
Justin hasn't been there since like 2015 or not even. Like he wasn't really even there for the Twitch transition.
Gotcha.
And he wasn't CEO before then either. Michael Seibel was.
Okay, anyway, what's up?
Not much. I wanted to try my best to steelman a little bit of Elon and George's take here because I think there can be an argument made for a rewrite, but I don't think either of them made it.
Yeah, I want to be ultra clear here, okay? I'm not arguing that Twitter's code base is like neat and tidy, well maintained, and has like, you know,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's not my argument.
I think that your point's been
My
like,
point is just that anytime Elon talks, he comes off to me like Trump. He just doesn't know he's talking. He was using that feeling. And I said this even before Twitter, because people are going to continue being politically biased. I always said before that he has this uncanny ability to go on stage and start talking about things. And it, like, I listened to him do speeches on, it was even, I think it was like AI or something. And it just like, some of the things he was saying, like, well, this guy doesn't, he sounds like he's good at kind of like, I don't want to say being a con man, but like, he'll talk about shit, but he doesn't really know what he's talking about. It's like a lot of buzzwords and shit. But yeah, that's the irritating thing when I hear him talking. It could be the case, like, Twitter's code base is a fucking mess and it needs a rewrite and all that shit. He just sucked ass at like talking about that at all.
yeah, I don't know the current state of Twitter's code base. I've heard mixed things, mostly good-ish, but I'm thinking much more like as a CEO and like on the like higher level, since I've been on both sides of like running a business and also running a code base.
Sure.
Why it would make sense to do something that even many of the engineers might not agree with here. There's like in any code base that's that old, like 15-ish years for many parts, like
Jesus,
it's just that's a lot of baggage to move with. There's a general theory, I forgot the guy who came up with this, but it's like just broken my brain since I heard it. It's every 3 years, any given piece of software gets 3 times easier to write.
Okay.
And when you have code that's been around for 15 years, a lot of it is written in a way that's exponentially more complex than it has to be now.
Sure. And these are like, I hear horror stories of like, there's like one fucking guy in the office that can like maintain like some particular thing. And if like that guy leaves, you're like fucked or shit like that. I don't know how true that is for like modern software development, but
I think the bigger problem when you're in a product org is when changes need to be made, who knows the thing well enough to make those changes reliably, and how many things have to be changed in order to make that product real.
Yeah, that was the thing that I was... Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Twitter's an interesting spot because they're not profitable, and they're in a really rough spot, especially since Elon doesn't know how ads work. So I think that, like, they should be focused on adding things and finding opportunities to make more money. And in the pursuit of that, like if they sit down, write out look at the numbers, look at the path to profit, look at how much money they're making, look at their burn, look at their runway. Realistically speaking, what's the most likely to make them profitable the soonest? And if they're not sure about that thing, and a rewrite would theoretically let them do 3 things instead of 1 slightly faster, just like plot all these paths, which gets you money fastest.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree. Like if there were features that I could like, if I could rewrite a huge chunk of my website in order to like in the future support like 2 chat rooms, or if I could like rewrite a small part that allows me to support like tier 6, 7, and 8 subs, I'd probably opt for the smaller part quicker because there's a quicker path to monetization and I'd work on other stuff later, especially if I was like bleeding cash or something and I needed to write.
Exactly. And this is why the view count thing is the stupidest fucking circle around like bullshit. Why did they put any time into that? Like they're burning money and they're like rebuilding half their infra so they can put an arbitrary number so Elon feels better when he goes to bed at night. Like that's all view count is. It's like an ego stroke because he was jealous when he looked at other platforms and how well things are doing on those. He just wanted a number to point at so he could feel better. This
is spiteful, so I'm trying not to buy into this, but I saw a really funny tweet. I don't know how true this is, but it's the idea that basically like every new feature from Twitter is coming from some like ass pain that like Elon had in the past. So like I saw somebody link something where it was like when Apple was shitting on him, it was like the next day he was like, we're gonna remove like the, you know, written on iPhone shit, like stuff like that basically, that a lot of the features are being added or removed based on stuff that's like personally frustrating him. If that's true, that's pretty funny, but yeah.
Almost certainly to an extent. I like the way that they've changed safety stuff in particular around like parody accounts and shit's clearly a direct response to him being bullied and feeling insecure.
Sure.
I would say that rewrites, probably in the way that you want to do it, probably not a good idea. Facebook, actually, rewrote their entire website for some reason. And when I say rewrote,
I had a great chat with the guy who did that like 2 weeks ago at a React event in the city that I was speaking at.
Yeah, so when I say that doesn't mean literally like start from scratch.
Yeah.
That is, hoist the old website on stilts and then start removing the stilts and replacing them with, you know, better things over time. Because it never makes sense to actually rewrite everything from scratch. There's a lot of built up knowledge and history, and there's reasons why things are written a certain way. It's a huge endeavor to just rewrite things and then hope that you get things correct, and then also hope that you don't have to like rebuild a bunch of crap that used to be there.
Generally agree. Facebook in particular is a weird case because they did actually fully rewrite the like user interface front end. Like the whole front end from the ground up was rewritten from scratch, and you had the old site or the new site, and everything in it was the new site.
No, that's not true.
It was. They like blew out the entire HTML like crazy. Yeah, it's literally iframing in an old web page. That's not like, but like the website was rewritten. I guess I agree in the sense that there are still pieces that they didn't rewrite, but it's like as far as I as an engineer would ever be concerned, that was a full-on rewrite. Like the top of the site, like the thing, the entry point, and everything that happens from there is fundamentally different. Way down, like the analogy you gave of like stripping it down to the stilts and then building on top separately, it's the opposite of that. It's literally sledgehammering it, realizing the 4 of those stilts need to be around, and then putting those back in on top after.
Well, and I think actually to chime in here, what you guys are talking about right now, I mean, like kind of even showcases like what does a rewrite even mean? Like, does a rewrite mean we're literally like opening up Notepad and starting from fucking ground zero on every single thing, or like are you just redesigning like parts of the front end or what? Like, it's probably like what a rewrite even means is like up for debate.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But what I'm saying is like, as an engineer, when I hear something along the lines of like stripping it down and then building something else on top, I'm not expecting a fundamental different, like a different code base runs the website of Facebook.com right now. Like when you go to Facebook.com, the code base that starts that process and loads that page and generates the HTML you see is a different code base than the one from 3 years ago. Like from the ground up rewrite, they have other parts they didn't port over, so they link you back to those ones. But to me, that's about as far as rewrite could go in a big business.
I would probably estimate that maybe 30% is new. It feels like a rewrite because a lot of
Well, he was saying it was a full front end rewrite, right?
Well, if we're talking about a rewrite in terms of Elon's rewrite, it wasn't at all. I don't know what type of...
His would probably just be back end. I don't think he cares about the state of the front end by the sounds of the convo that we had.
Maybe. It sounds like he was very complaining about all the UI and mobile aspects.
Yeah. I
want
to go back in a bit
the right
on
way to approach this, right, is never to just throw out everything and then like assume amnesia and then write stuff from scratch. It'll never work. And the point earlier about like, oh, you'll always have some guy that just has esoteric knowledge, and if you lose them, they're just fucked. That's just a common fact, and it's just a fact. It's always going to happen, whether you rewrite or not.
Well, but there's probably going to be a big difference between like, I imagine like there's some, you know, like piece of code that some guy had written and like he's like the most familiar with it, versus there's something written in some language that's like super deprecated or nobody even uses it anymore, and there's some guy that's like 57 years old and he's the only one. Right? I imagine there's a difference between these two things.
No, really.
You really don't think so? They're like, well, I thought you guys were wrong. You're more than I have.
Once you get to a certain point, like programming languages are very much the same. Like it's not very hard for me to go read the program and complete it on like,
yeah, that's what I was saying.
Generally speaking, they flow in very similar ways. So like the logic behind it is the thing that's actually like where you need the knowledge about, and you're just going to be writing new logic, and then you're going to hope that you don't start to reach.
I think the bigger problem's like a step higher. It's not like the actual lines of code, and I feel like so much of the conversation became about the lines of code that was incredibly frustrating to me. It's thinking about the relationship between services, like the dimensions of the systems you're building. Code is one dimension, and it's the most boring one. There is like, where are these systems deployed? Where do they get data from? How do they communicate? What happens when one goes down? How do you distribute across the world? How do you replicate the data? Like, these questions are not many lines of code, but end up being the place where so much of the complexity lives. And if you can take advantage of modern practice and systems, things like serverless architecture, and just trim massive chunks, like whole dimensions off of your infra and off of the complexity you're dealing with, you're able to move faster. And if you're not sure if your business can be profitable or not, and it takes you 2 years to try a different model out, or you could spend half a year to get to a place where you can try different things every 3 months, you should probably do that. But it depends a lot about where you are and being realistic on what gets you to where you want to be.
Camille just let me die on purpose because he's mad at me. He held his stun until after I was dead, then he used it and then ulted. He could have ulted sooner and trapped him so I didn't die. We could have double killed him easy. We had the burst damage.
Fire a lot of people at work.
I will say that I knew a lot of engineers at Twitter, and I have not personally noticed a correlation between the ones who stayed and left and the ones who were and weren't like high quality. Like, I know some very good engineers who left and some very good engineers who stayed, and some lackluster ones who left and stayed as well. I do personally know a handful of super talented engineers who chose to stay at Twitter. So for what it's worth, there are people there who know what they are doing and can like describe these things well. And I know a lot of them have had like surprisingly okay conversations with Elon, but he seems to have picked up a bunch of buzzwords and then just spouts them. Yeah. I would love to try and like analyze how Elon got here, because like the way his product brain works, I think explains a lot of his like behavior here. I think that going into cars as a new player was a move that hadn't been seen like really ever before. And I'm sure a lot of people at every step were saying, you can't just show up here and do that. You don't know how the fuck a car works. You're here from PayPal. Like, come on, dude. And somehow he did. I can't personally say how viable people's critiques were and how well he worked to get there, but he did manage to do it. And as you even said before, there's a problem a lot of people have where when they do something hard and get really good at it, they assume that they're good at everything nearby it and eventually assume they're very good at everything beyond it. If you do something that's hard, like the tech at PayPal, and have a huge like success story from that, and then you do something crazier like cars and you succeed with that, and then you do something crazier like space and you succeed at that point you're just going to assume you can't fucking fail.
Yeah.
And also there are certain patterns in the things he has done which were, if you put too much effort into being the best, that will make you successful here. That's not the case in the market he's in right now. Ads is a fundamentally different market from space and from Tesla and from PayPal, because all of them were trying to sell the best thing and could mark up at whatever the fuck they wanted because they won. They're at the top. And once you're at the top, you can charge whatever and do whatever. Ads is a margins game, and he doesn't know how to play margins games, and he just doesn't seem to understand how non-quality, like product that isn't sold at the highest possible price as a majority works. Like, he's out of his element and cannot transition, and like his ad stance really showed this.
Yeah, I remember that statement. He wanted to get like 50% of the revenue coming in through subscriptions. Seemed like a wild, like, ask. I don't know how many years it would take to hit that. Well, unless you drop all of your advertising revenue, I guess you could do it very quickly.
Yeah, it's like there's two ways to get 50% ad or 50% like support rev, and he's definitely doing that one.
He's going one of the directions.
Yeah. We did actually talk a bit about video ad stuff in the space, and he seemed to kind of get that. It was funny because he went from saying I know nothing about ads to fully agreeing with me and just parroting my points like halfway through the space.
How the fuck? I need to take this out of here, but only when the bump is full. What do you said you work for a startup. What is your do you like say the industry or?
Yeah, so I did stay in the industry. We're also exploring DevTool stuff now, but I started Ping.gg, TLDR. We built Zoom for streamers. Goal is to make it so we can have like calls like this as simple as possible. Bring a guest into your show with high quality video. We're used by people like Majority Report, Linus Tech Tips, VShojo, Elgato, Microsoft, Xbox, just to do high quality guest live shows. Yeah, Supreme's in chat. Yeah, we met at TwitchCon. I hung out with a bunch of like that crew, the OG Politics guys.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
you
OG
were.
Politics guy. Thanks.
Yeah, I was networking the whole time, and you weren't inside the venue, if I recall.
No, but I was right outside, screaming at people.
Yeah, that's fair. Probably should have come out. My bad on that. Yeah, I am generally bearish on the creator space at this point. Yeah, it's just a shit show. Like, this is a terrible place to come to make money.
The creator space?
Yeah. Yeah, like the sponsor side of things, absolutely. Like, there's insane money there, but when it comes to like building things for creators, like, I couldn't see a new Elgato.
You
being
mean from
formed right
your
now.
perspective as a
Yes. Yes, as a CEO, yes. I'm also, I mean, I make more money as a YouTuber by like 4x than we're making at our business right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where figuring out like a product to offer is just so hard when so many other things are like so integrated. Like you talked about like that Zoom thing, and my first like my go-to thought personally is like, why would I ever use it over Discord when I'm already using Discord, you know?
Because browser sources, we let you do high quality like individual layers. So if you're doing like a fancy podcast where you know the 4 people, you're going to go live at a specific time, you need these 3 people all at 1080p. We're the best way to do that. But for your type of drop-in stuff, we can't compete with Discord. That's why I'm calling on Discord now. We use Discord for all our internal calls, and this is why we're exploring other things. Did get into Y Combinator somehow though. That was fun.
Nice. Well, wait, is there anything else you want to talk about? I'm getting tired, so.
No, that was the big thing. If you ever want someone to come shitpost about the like developers' cost and like the business side of development, I think I can counter some of Dan's takes decently well.
Ooh, we're always.
Yes, I'll be around for that. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Well.
Happy holidays.
Yeah. Have
Peace.
fun. Peace out. What are you doing?
Oh, I was talking about how my girlfriend got acid reflux.
Very tragic.
And puked last night.
Wait, have you ever had really bad acid reflux before?
No, but funnily enough, my girlfriend had just last night.
Did you think she was gonna die?
Yeah, I was on my phone and I was trying to determine if she had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Or acid reflux.
One time in my life I've had really like it. The feeling I get, or I don't know if this is acid reflux, or maybe I just ate too fast. I'm fucking retarded. I don't know how to eat my food. But like it's like something is like stuck. It feels like something is stuck right down here, and you're trying to like burp it up, but it's not coming up. And I had that feeling one time before. It was kind of funny because it was like LOL. Like I like that happens sometimes. It just happens a little. But I had it, and it wouldn't go away. And I thought I was gonna fucking die. Like I was getting like feelings like this is the end for me. Like I actually can't. This isn't moving. I can still breathe,
I've totally
but it's like
had
the
that too.
worst feeling ever. And oh my fucking god, it was so scary. Holy shit. So
Yeah, that's exactly what she went through. I thought she was gonna die.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, I get heartburn sometimes.
Yeah, but it wasn't like I didn't have any problems breathing. But it was like, yeah, Jesus, what a horrible feeling. Fuck that. Not cool. Yeah, I guess or something, or just eat. I just need to chew my food more. Sometimes I'm really bad about eating way too fast.
I mean, sucking down Soylent too fast.
Yeah, good one. Good one.
I got 6 empty Huel canisters here on my desk.
Oh yeah.
Which yeah, it's the oat version of Soylent. I just chugged this stuff, and I should stop probably.
Why is it like bad for you?
I think it's bad to chug 400 calories in like 5 seconds. Yeah, I think that's bad. I think it is. It's bad.
Are they better for you than the Soylent stuff?
They're not. They're the same nutritionally, but you know, soy doesn't agree very well with me. It gives me huge farts, and fuel gives me very normal farts, so preferable.
Well.
Yeah. You ever play that guitar back there?
You know, I used to practice it, but I haven't in a while. I need to get back into it though. That's why I set it up, and I'm like, okay, well, if it's set up, I'll practice it. But I need to get my schedule is just a nightmare. Everything in my life is falling apart. So I have like I'm like going to like 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
That's bad for me. I always say that like 2 a.m. That's good for me.
What are you doing?
Just Factorio, walking around, feeling like shit. I don't like it when things in my life aren't like put together. Like not having internet is fucking like a lot. Like I can fuck with these. Like I've got like I'm tethered to my Google Fi hotspot on my gaming computer. I'm tethered to my Verizon hotspot on my streaming computer. And then I'm like my connections kind of suck. I've got to constantly monitor my internet because I already exhausted like 2 of my hotspots. It's fucking annoying. It's not. And I'm streaming at like shit quality. I can't upload any of my VODs for fucking August. Like my websites are all lagging and shit. Like I couldn't use Discord earlier. It's a rough life out here. Okay.
Yeah, I've been there. When I moved into my new house, I had to order a special SIM card with unlimited data to have 4G internet while they set up my fiber.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that. It's just expensive.
What? How expensive?
Like $90 a month.
Wow. Fuck you. I would gladly pay that. Yeah.
Then pay it.
I bought a Verizon card that's supposed to be super unlimited. I just don't have a way to put it on my phone yet. I'm hoping that this. I got a SIM card for a hotspot, but I can't use it with the other hotspot I bought because that's a Verizon one. I guess it's proprietary. Do you think I can stick a data SIM card in my phone and use my phone to hotspot?
A data SIM card in yeah.
Okay, I just can't make calls with it, right?
If your carrier supports it, I think most phones have like carrier lock on their hotspotting.
Sure. Okay, should be okay.
Unless it's unlocked, yeah.
I was willing to go stream to your T-Mobile and Verizon with unlimited 5G home internet. Yeah, no, I got the one from Verizon. I have to have a business account for it, but I got a business account, so it's $75 a month. I don't believe it, but we'll find out when I start using it. I asked you, I was like, if I do 100 gigs a day, you guys aren't going to throttle me? He said, if you do 100 gigs a day, you won't throttle you. I'm like, all right, dude. Okay, Chief, you say so.
Are you doing 100 gigs a day?
No, but I probably do a lot.
Throttle you,
well, no, I haven't put that one in yet, and I'm not doing a lot right now. I'm only doing 4 megs a second, so 16. 16 a second is 2 megabytes per second. So 120 a minute. 160 is 7,200, 7.2 gigs an hour times 10. Oh, it would be like 10 hours would be 72 gigabytes and 72 gigabytes in 10 hours if I stream for 10 hours, I think, right? So it would be about 100 gigabytes a day. Well, I haven't streamed that yet, and I haven't hooked that SIM card yet, so we'll try it. See what they do. Okay, yeah, we'll see.
This LTE internet's better than your old Cox internet.
That don't even remind me of those days. Horror times. Oh my god. Not good. Not cool. Not fun.
Yep. Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit.
I kind of miss this phase. Yeah, a little bit. For entirely different reasons.
Yeah, not the internet laggy ones, I would imagine.
Yeah.
How's your hair doing?
Mine?
Is it all dry and frizzed up?
No, I've got like a special conditioner I use for it. It actually feels okay. It's not as like smooth and nice Probably 20 pounds, I think.
Oh, just a very strong guy.
Well, I use
Was it? Do you know if it was a semi or demi?
I have no fucking idea what color you use, but I use this blue conditioner every day, or every other day at least. So like after I get out of the shower, I'll dry my hair, then I rub this in, and it sits for 30 minutes, and then I get back into the shower, and then I rinse it out again. So I think this is like re-dyeing my hair.
Right, do you know what volume developer was used?
No, that's the producer. I don't know what the developer was. Or wait, is it the developer or the producer? I'm thinking the Bleach.
The developer, the Bleach doesn't have a number.
Oh, then it would have been 20 developer, right? Is that the one that melts my fucking scalp?
Yeah, it could burn people's scalps. Yeah.
Yes, that's the one that was 20. He
20
said it
is on
shouldn't be
the-
that bad because he said 40 is when it starts to get real bad, but even the 21 was fucking annoying to have.
Yeah, 20 is on the low end. Usually you would do like a 30. But... I heard you say that like you get a lot of but have you like?
I think it actually looks kind of cool, as funny as that is. Like, I thought, because every time I've seen people with dyed hair, I haven't liked it, I think, because, oh, I can just see this in a fucking fuel refinery. I don't like it because, one, usually people with dyed hair use a lot of product, and I don't like sticky, staticky, like, crusty hair. That feels gross to me. And then usually because the colors get, like, really faded and gross looking. Like, that, I don't like that. But, like, this is, like, a very strong, this is, like, a super strong color of blue. And then it like feels nice. So like when after I like use a blow dryer on it and I comb it through and it's like nice and fluffy and cute, I think it actually, it's grown on me a lot.
Yeah, blue and red is really hard to get.
This is super easy to get out of my hair because as soon as I'm ready to get it out, I'm fucking shaving my head. So.
Well, yeah.
That's the easiest
Have you
way
noticed any breakage, or do you think your hair is like fairly healthy?
It seems pretty healthy. I mean, like I lose some hair, like when I comb it and stuff.
How do you wash and then dry your hair? Do you use a drying process in detail?
Well, I go into the shower and then I shampoo my hair. I get gloves on, and then with a pair of plastic gloves, I shampoo the fuck out of my hair. They said I'm not supposed to do that, but I have to. I just can't. It like.
How do you shampoo your hair with your hair?
So usually shampoo goes in a dollop on the hand, then it goes in a dollop on the head, and then with my fingertips, I'm kind of like scrubbing it into my scalp, and I go down the sides, do that,
In a straight line, right?
Straight line.
You're supposed to use your fingers in a straight line to scrub your scalp.
I just go back and forth. I don't know
Are you? I've never heard that.
I don't know what the straight line technique is. Fuck, dude. Have I been fucking up the
Just
whole
don't
time?
make circles, basically.
Oh, okay.
Who the fuck makes circles?
Yeah, back and forth.
Jesus. Circles are for brushing teeth, okay?
Okay, so you shampoo appropriately, all right, wash it out, and then?
Then I'll get out of the shower. I'll use usually 2 towels to like dry it off as much as possible. I might sit in a towel on my computer for like 5 minutes, let it dry a little bit more, and then once it's like fairly dryish, like just a little bit damp, I'll take all that, I'll do another set of gloves, and then I smush all that conditioner shit into the hair, and then I go through it all. Probably spend like a good like 3 or 4 minutes like doing all that shit, and then I go sit back down again in a towel, and then I wait another 30 minutes for it to be like blue is, I guess, and then I go into the shower, and then I rinse it off with cold water, and then I dry again, and then I'm done. Ugh.
That conditioner says 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's probably why it's still very blue.
Yeah, I think it does. Hopefully, the directions are on the back. Fuck, I can't find it. But yeah, I think it says after your hair is dry, you leave it sit for 30 minutes, yeah.
Wow, that's good. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Do you wash your face?
Yeah, with soap. I don't use like a facial cleaner or whatever.
This I'm gay guy. Yeah, you really turned me on to face washing.
Who did?
This I'm gay guy.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I mean, you really shouldn't be using soap, but if you have oily skin, I can understand why.
Yeah, I do have oily skin, okay? I don't need you unoily skin fucking losers who are
I
like,
have
oh
extremely
yeah.
oily skin.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you do, kid. You don't know oily skin until you've seen my skin, okay? I have the most oily skin.
You should use a salicylic acid cleanser instead.
Yeah, fuck that shit. You know what salicylic acid is? That's called,
Salicylic?
that's called not Accutane when you're a teenager and you're trying to get rid of acne, okay? Fuck that shit. I used so many salicylic acid cleaners when I was a kid to try to get rid of acne and shit. All that shit did was dry my fucking skin out. I didn't do fucking anything. Fuck those cleaners. Fuck that shit.
soap doesn't?
No. I just use like body soap. It's like I'm not using like fucking. It's not like 98 fucking % alcohol like melt my face off shit. Oh, actually, I have to take little blots and I have to do alcohol around my forehead. I'll take isopropyl alcohol and I take little cotton swabs and I have to clean around so that my whole forehead doesn't get dyed blue. That's some annoying shit I have to do. Fuck. God, how annoying. That's the only thing that sucks. I don't know if... I don't know how long I can handle it. We'll see. Okay, field processor. Engine, stone, iron. Well, what else? What are you guys talking about?
Well, we were talking about his cool new bomber jacket.
Yeah.
He popped in.
Yeah, my cool new bomber jacket.
Is it really cool?
Yeah, it's a Buzz Rickson X William Gibson USAF 1957 replica MA1 bomber jacket. It's pretty cool.
Do you like airplanes or something, or why?
No, there's a video game review man on the internet named Tim Rogers, and he did a review of Cyberpunk 2077. And in the video, he talked about the jacket, and I thought it was really cool, so I bought it.
Interesting.
You know, speaking of hygiene, I heard you shit on tongue scrapers.
I mean, I've used them before. I don't see the hype. You can just brush the back of your tongue if you want.
Oh no way! If I don't
That
scrape
doesn't
my tongue,
remove as nearly as much gunk.
Yeah, but I don't think the shit you remove. I don't think it matters. But
it matters a lot.
So.
If I brush my teeth and then I breathe deeply onto someone else versus scrape my tongue, the tongue scraping is going to get a much better reaction every time.
Where do you think most of the bacteria in your mouth is?
Did you know that most of the bacteria responsible for bad breath resides in the back of your mouth on your tongue? That's why you need to buy this tongue scraper. Yeah.
I mean, where do you think the smell comes from?
Probably from the general, like, uncleanliness of the inside of your mouth, would be my guess.
And that general is, like, concentrated in one spot, usually?
It's probably all over the place. I imagine if you're brushing your teeth well, okay, and then you fucking have fluoride all over your fucking mouth and everything, you can give your tongue a scrub if you want. Not a bad idea. But, like, getting the whole, like, tongue scraper shit, I don't know. I don't know about that. But maybe.
Are you just afraid that you're gonna gag too much?
No, not really.
How's your gagging? You good at that?
I think I can tongue scrape without gagging.
Okay. Oh, do you floss?
No. I used to, but fuck that shit, okay?
Have you tried a water pick?
No, also fuck that shit.
They're pretty fun.
Are they?
Yeah, I don't floss, but I water pick.
Okay, based.
It's fun. It's
Well,
like
I've
shooting
put
your
on,
teeth
like,
with
an adult.
a gun.
I floss with $30 floss, by the way. That's
Jesus
how cool I am.
Christ.
Whoa, link it.
You want this shit, bro?
No, I just want to know. I want to know what $30 floss is.
It's
hold on, real quick. I have never had a major cavity in my life. I'm 34 years old, so suck my fucking dick, you fucking morons. Firstly, there is no data whatsoever to support the fact that flossing even prevents cavities, you motherfuckers. So suck my dick, okay? That's why I don't floss anymore. Fuck that shit.
Is that even true?
Yeah, it
I
is.
thought it's for gum health, right?
I think for gum health, I think it's more important to brush well. I think a lot of people are really bad at brushing. I think that's probably the most important thing to do.
This just goes against everything every dentist has told me ever.
Well, go do the research. Believe it or not, dentists don't actually like research that much either. Dental shit is like one of the least like fucking research like topics of medical health compared to like traditional medical health. They're pretty fucking lazy about that shit, okay? Hold them to...
Yeah, I know that they're more barbaric in general.
Yeah, hold them to account, okay? Make them answer for their crimes.
I have pretty poor dental genetics, I would say. I was like born without a few teeth, but
Jesus.
Ever since I started flossing and tongue scraping and brushing with electric toothbrush, I haven't had any issues. So.
Oh man, dude, we're just gonna disagree on every single dental take. I hate electric toothbrushes. I think they're such a fucking meme.
Why?
They're just such a fucking meme. How does it help?
You know how to use them?
How does it help? they're
You just use it like a normal
ultrasonic.
toothbrush. I don't know why you would care if it's electric or not.
Because one, I'm worried I'm gonna break it. Why would you need it to be? What does the electric part do?
It just
goes
scrubs a little bit more. You've ever used an ultrasonic cleaner on anything? It's the same thing.
Like if you scrub something really fast back and forth, that's better than slowly.
The reason why I disagree is because when I brush my teeth, I feel like the scrubbing action comes from the leverage I have on the toothbrush. It's not from a thing that I barely push on my tooth that goes.
You're not really supposed to brush your teeth very hard. Right?
Yeah.
I disagree.
That just destroys your enamel. That just destroys your
listen,
enamel.
my teeth. Listen, when you go to the doctor and they polish your tooth with their things, they're pushing it on there pretty hard. If you felt them like do like a tooth polishing before, like it's pretty hardcore.
It's also rubber.
What do you mean it's rubber?
The thing they use to polish your teeth, it's rubber. It's not like hard bristles.
Minions have spawned.
Are hard bristles harder than the enamel of your teeth?
No, but the force you apply with it, right?
Does
You
it
have
matter? If
concentrated
you're talking like
force.
Rock's hardness
Scratch
scale, if you're scratching one object, a softer object with a harder one, does it matter how much force you apply? I thought that like the
Matters
harder.
that it's a bunch of little points rather than just like a big blob of rubber.
Okay, I have no idea. I've used electric toothbrushes in the past and I just didn't like them. I'd rather just have like an ordinary toothbrush with like lots of bristles, like a big thing that I feel like I'm covering all my teeth with when I brush, rather than just like holding like an electric thing and like pushing it around my teeth. I feel like I'm not cleaning anything that way. And it feels a lot harder to get into my gums because the electric toothbrush, the heads are usually like very restrictive. Like the head of an electric toothbrush will just be like a little circle and then like some bristles. Whereas like a traditional toothbrush will be like super, there's like 50 million bristles. Feels like I can get like way deeper into way more than with an electric toothbrush. But maybe I've only had like shitty. The last one I bought like one of those $300 like it was really nice electric toothbrush. I just didn't like it, but I don't know.
Whatever gets you
You're supposed
fresh.
to use them as a normal toothbrush, so I don't know why you would care. I guess the,
Well, you can't-
the head is different.
The reason why I wouldn't use a normal toothbrush is
Wait, hey, Steve, it's
Jesus
both.
Christ.
I
Hello?
know. Hey, I'm on mobile. It's really important.
What's up?
Hey, how are you? And your friends as well. If you guys talk too loud, I'm on mobile, then you're gonna hear yourselves.
Gotcha. How's it going?
It's not bad at all. Hey, I called you because I was watching your stream and I heard you talking about cavities. You heard the thing about how cavities are like contagious, right?
No.
Oh, okay. So there's this thing where basically if a parent has kind of like poor oral health, they have this bacteria that they can pass on to a child prior to 3 years old. So like if a mom cleans her pacifier, like your pacifier with her mouth, or she shares a straw with you or something, they can pass on this bacteria that makes you extremely susceptible to cavities. So if you didn't have a mom that was like, really close with you, or didn't like, kiss you too much, or didn't like, share a straw with you, then you probably wouldn't get this bacteria and then you wouldn't get cavities.
Wow, it's no wonder Steven has such good dental hygiene.
Yeah, so like if your mom wasn't close with you or anything, you wouldn't get this.
Interesting. Wow.
Okay, well, I thought that was helpful. I hope it was clear because I'm on mobile, but you guys have a good night. Happy Christmas Eve.
Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. Thanks for the updated information.
No problem. Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Wait, are you sick?
Oh, no, I'm
Or is
just
your-
having a good night.
Oh, your voice is like hoarse. You're just like shouting along.
Honestly, it's a little bit of allergies. I wish you didn't notice. I'm a little embarrassed now.
Yeah, you should be because it's really noticeable. Oh my goodness.
Okay,
I'm actually
alright, well, I
so
hope I
embarrassed
sound
for you
cute.
right now.
Goodbye.
Have fun. Bye.
On the similar vein, have you heard that trauma is like passed on to your kid while they're in the womb and shit?
Through what, like cortisol levels or something, or?
I don't know the specifics. I slightly skimmed an article that said like there is generational trauma. It's like a physical thing that can be passed on to your kid, which I thought was interesting.
Well, cool. Or not cool, I guess. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't believe it. I tried to find studies. I tried to find research on this, and I was like, "Is it?" And there was because somebody had made a claim in chat. Somebody had said something like, there's no evidence that flossing actually does anything." And I was like, "No fucking shot, you fucking moron! Every single dentist I've ever been to recommends it." And I feel like I started googling around, and I found out that it didn't sound like there was any empirical research that said that flossing actually did anything. I was like, oh, well, fuck me. But then I also found that apparently dentists in general just don't do a lot of research. Like, there's not a lot of, like, dental research. Like, a lot of it is just kind of, like, I don't want to say old wives' tales, but, like, dentists kind of, like, learn a thing and they pass it on. And there's, like, not much, like, empirical foundation for a lot of dental recommendation shit.
Yeah, I guess like if you say, hey, bacteria causes cavities, and you remove more bacteria, it seems more better. But, yeah.
I don't know if that's the case. I'd have to go and read it. I don't know if it's that removing bacteria is what prevents cavities, or I don't know if it's like preventing tartar buildup is what prevents cavities. What do you think is the more important thing? I have no idea. I'm legitimately asking.
Not having bacteria on your teeth for an extended period of time so that the shit can produce acid. Right? That's how your enamel gets broken down.
Keeping your mouth less acidic.
Like, you could eat a whole bag of gummy bears within like 10 minutes and that's just a ton of sugar, but that's fine. If you ate that same bag over like 10 hours, you're just repeatedly applying more and more sugar over your teeth over an extended period of time. That's way more damaging, even though it's the same amount of sugar. Gotcha. Because you're just re-upping all the bacteria in the food. Whereas your saliva would just take care of like the bacteria immediately in that one sitting, right?
Fascinating.
So yeah, when I floss, big globs of shit come out, so you know, seems good.
Nice.
But only if you use the $30 floss. You know, $1 floss.
You can't use the forest floss. That's a gift.
Actually, there is a little bit of truth to that. If you get like the super thin like glide floss, that is not as effective as your normal floss because you need to scrub like 10 times more to get the same amount of garbage out. The floss that I linked in chat, which is $30, is made out of like cocoa wax and shit. It is the thickest floss I've ever used. So it makes it a lot faster, and it smells good. Yeah. It's also a discipline thing. You usually call yourself an adult if you can't do this one thing.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't help. So why the fuck would I bother?
I mean, it's like baking your bed. It literally doesn't even
I think having a bed made does.
I would never make my bed.
You don't make your bed?
I don't. I would never pick my clothes up off the floor until it was laundry time.
Base. We got a lot of rebels in here today.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least
it's
I
a
have
waste of time. I could be coding.
True.
You're not a coder anymore, Linus.
Yeah, that's true. I could be telling other people to code.
Do you actually think waffle towels are better than normal towels?
I don't know what a waffle towel is.
It's a type of towel.
Yeah, I don't know it. I brush it against my body and it dries me off.
The weavy one versus the one that's not weavy.
The waffle, if you're talking about the waffles ones, then I think I might hate those types. If it's the one with like patches like up and down or something, I don't know. I'm describing if that's even like the right thing.
Like a pretty not with like fibers, with like waffle-like texture.
I don't know what the fuck a waffle texture means.
A bunch of squares.
No, fuck, that sounds horrible.
Remember you saying it was the best thing you've ever found.
Oh, well then it was
yourself.
amazing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Wasn't that Dan?
It might have been Dan.
Was it Dan? It
Sounds
was
like something
maybe
Dan would say.
You know, Dan said he quit today. I don't know what he meant by that.
Yeah, he said he's done.
Done with what?
I don't know. He just came into comp
randomly
sci.
said, I'm done.
I'm done. And then he left. He didn't respond to anyone.
And he's done being on stream. Too much for old man Dan.
Alright, well, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Oh, you're leaving because I'm here. You don't want to talk anymore.
Oh, no, I'm leaving because my girlfriend's sitting on the bed waiting for me to stop talking.
What? Why? She wants to take you away from your friends? You know that's like a red flag.
No,
right?
we were gonna watch Wednesday on Netflix together when she was done drawing her Christmas drawing.
Yeah, is that a good
think
Christmas drawing?
I think probably will be pretty good. I haven't checked it out yet, but
Dude, you should tell her to draw me as like a slave owner with a throbbing dick, and then like all of my orbiters as like dogs with like muscles and shit. Just a random suggestion.
Wait, but there was only like one, really 5 dogs, and like all the orbiters were people, right?
Were they?
Yeah, you should take another look.
Oh fuck! It was like so demented. I couldn't stare into it for too long. I was getting
Yeah,
scared.
Forethought, he really loved it.
Did he?
Yeah, he was really proud. He thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool too. I mean, like,
It was a nice drawing, but a little demented.
Yeah, I guess that's a pretty intense way to look at someone.
Wait, do you think Max is abusive towards her?
Do I? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Not like, oh, they definitely need to break up abuse. I think certain people handle different types of abuse better than others. Some people like it. I don't know. She likes it. Maybe she likes it.
I respect your emotional opinions on people, so I was hoping you would disagree, so we could fight
No,
about it.
I mean, I think like if you were to, does he do things that like are probably unhealthy for people to be subjected to constantly?
I feel like
Yeah,
the
but-
dynamic is like super fucked. That's the feeling that I get. Like she comes across as like a fucking like zombie prisoner. Like that's how
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we only see
the videos that are posted, the way that she
Yeah,
but
other
than
but
that.
I mean, if some people need some shit like that. Wasn't she raised in a cult or something?
I don't know. She seemed really happy 5 years ago, and I'm listening to her doing podcasts about her fucking like indie music and dancing around and all that shit. She seemed like she was doing okay. But maybe, yeah, you're right. Maybe some women just need to be, fucking abused.
I mean, yeah. Not, not like as a general statement, but I'm sure some people do prefer having someone kind of fucked up in their life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably. Anyway, Merry
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah, go have fun. Be careful. Stay safe.
I'm gonna go watch Wednesday.
Yeah, be careful. I heard it's a good show.
Yeah, she's 20 years old. I think the actor is.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know how that's relevant to anything we're talking about, but
Oh, the listeners will know what I mean. All right. See you later.
have fun, buddy. Bye. Oh, it's just you and me now. How's do you still work at the big M?
I do.
That's good. You survived the layoffs. Are you an active participant in your company's meta server, or? Fucking hater.
So
I see.
That whole thing was pretty wild. Because the layoffs weren't announced beforehand.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
so people leaked that to Blind, and so there was just rumors for I think a solid 2 to 3 days before it actually happened. People were going crazy. And the night it did happen, I stayed up until 6 a.m. because according to the rumors and leaks, like email was sent out at 4 a.m. I think to tell you if you're going to be fucked or not. So yeah, everyone was up. My manager was up, and he got an email that was like, "Oh hey, haha, here are all the people that just got deleted from the team." I personally lost, I think, three people. Yeah, that I worked with directly. Actually, 4 people I worked with directly that just like evaporated, which kind of sucks. Actually, sucks a lot. General feeling pretty bad, honestly.
Yeah, I think layoffs will probably do that.
Oh, the
But
big
it's like,
argument's
honestly,
Meta. I was thinking Microsoft. And
company
What?
disappearing.
Microsoft
Yeah, I
is-
imagine that'll probably happen.
Microsoft
yeah.
isn't that bad, right? They did some layoffs, but they're not in that bad a shape. But Meta, I can totally understand. Yeah.
But it's still,
It's
if it
it's a
affects
big company.
you-
10% is, I feel like, quite a few people, but
I mean, absolute number-wise, yeah. But, like, it doesn't really hit you unless it actually affects your team, right?
Sure,
There's
sure,
a bunch
yeah.
of people where they're like, nothing changed, everything's fine. But it seems like there was a very obvious, low performance get cut. But there was also just, like, a randomized... I know a bunch of people that I would consider very high-performing that just got cut. There was a very, like, obvious random element to it.
Do you really think it was random, or were they just like cutting teams that they like, even if it was talent?
I
they were
think
just not
there
profitable?
was a random element. So I think that they probably got some insight into the low performers, and they got that.
No shot. Really?
I can't explain things. That's my explanation. I literally cannot explain otherwise. Like, these are people with very good, deep domain expertise and everything.
Mhm.
It's like very surprising that they would be let go. Also very high level. You would imagine that like layoffs would mostly
I thought you didn't have those anymore. I thought I read somewhere. I think I asked got a question. It was like everybody that gets hired is like instantly called a senior dev or some stupid shit.
That's not true at all. Whoever said this No, we love junior devs. They're the people that actually write code. And when you're at that level, that's your only work is writing code. So very, very. But yeah, that coupled with the whole internship fiasco, and then yeah, I mean the company's fine, but it just feels like shit. But then I can't really complain. Got it this year.
I need to find somebody in trusted safe. If you made that for it, I gave you that. I signed
You're still
well, as of this point, yeah. I don't know what. As of me buying it at 170 a share, I'm not sure, but yeah, now it's got nowhere to go but up. So,
I mean, the company has recovered from, I would say, probably worse shit, like Cambridge Analytica. I think the current thing, it's probably just a lot of people being sorry out with oh no, everything's another bruise.
yeah. And to be fair, like, that was kind of how I viewed it at the time, that like people were overcorrecting for like, oh god, this metaverse is gonna like sink Facebook. And I was like, bro, it's Facebook. It's like, isn't it WhatsApp 2 or something? There's another major chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's no shot that Facebook disappears. But then also like all of tech is down like really bad right now. So
yeah, the whole market's down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Tesla's down most of all. Freaking 70%.
I don't
this
know.
year.
I mean, I don't have any fear that the company's going to go under, so I'm going to get paid. There's still very interesting problems I work on.
yeah. What does user acquisition look like for Facebook now, though? That's something I'm curious about.
That's like scraping the very edges of the universe at this point, I would imagine. There's like some insane number, right? Like 3 billion monthly actives across all the services. I don't even know how many people are on the internet.
On the
and
planet
what
that you,
percentage- Yeah, like that. What percentage that is? Like removing China because you operate in China. Yeah, it has to be probably. I don't know where else you get new users. I know that like the company does a lot of outreachy type programs where they go to underdeveloped countries and like provide connectivity services and blah blah blah. And I think like when you're in that game, you're kind of saturated. Maybe not. But you're really like, that's where big stock for the first time. Like, oh no, we didn't get any new users.
Yeah, it's like at some point, like they're running out of like human beings to put their phones into their hands, but like even having like a
yeah. This is the very first time Facebook is announced. But it's always funny because in the world I exist in, you know, the gamer sphere, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter is the king. Twitter is the only thing that people use, and it's like the only thing that people care about. Even in the developer scene.
Yeah.
Where Twitter is like a fraction of the size of Facebook in terms of active users and stuff.
Like developers are more often on Facebook than Twitter?
No. I'm saying both for the gamer sphere and the developer sphere, Twitter is king.
Oh, gotcha.
And so for everyone I talk to,
Mm-hmm.
my world makes it seem like Twitter is vastly like the thing that everyone uses, bigger than Facebook, bigger than everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But for some real active users, it's a different story.
Yeah, I try not to get caught up in like what does my bubble think too much, because like that's why you'll hear, because you hear a lot of people saying shit like nobody's on Facebook anymore. And it's like, bruh. What do you mean?
Yeah,
you
I
say
mean,
nobody.
The element of truth to that is really just younger people, which is like understandable. Younger people generally don't want to associate stuff.
Sure.
But
there even are still like a lot of, there probably still are a lot of young people on Facebook.
Yeah, for sure. There's just like a disgusting amount of people on the platform.
Yeah.
And when you, I don't know, but hearing the was especially painful because Twitter's operating at like a very small fraction of the user base considering Facebook operates at.
It's like 1/10, right? Is it around 300 million users or something?
Yeah, it's literally like 1/10. And just like me trying to imagine someone going, oh yeah, this is fucking new page. It's a little insane. It's like complicated. Because I don't think the average person really realizes how fucking complex things are behind the scenes, and just how much fucking thought computers have to process, like how many servers are around.
Yeah, I think
it's just like
it's insane at that point. Yeah.
And I think that if you wanted to have a conversation about this, you would have to go really out of your way to find someone that isn't. Because anyone that's going to be on that, including me, probably not a good choice. Probably just going to be not looking at something that's like impactful.
Sure.
The Theo guy that came in. Listen, there's. I'm saying it was a hyped up video, very obviously paid for, and I think he says that, but I'm saying it was not good. But on there, I just watched one of his videos, his YouTube channel. Listen, there's his YouTube channel. The Theo guy that came in earlier. Listen, there's his YouTube channel. He's got a video on there. I just watched one of his videos. It was not good, but you know.
About what?
I'm sure he's a nice guy.
He
basically shilled some sponsor that didn't make a video.
Damn, and you're saying it was an untruthful video.
I'm saying it was a hyped up video, very obviously paid for, and I think he says that, but it's like he's hyping up a tool that I don't know that he would necessarily agree is useful. It was basically a way, an IDE for React, and like a way to see that React component has which doesn't seem useful at all to developers. You know, I'm not a React developer.
It's like a what you see is what you get, like an IDE or something. Oh, okay.
I don't think any of those IDs have ever been developed.
Damn, that's just brutal. Insane.
Well, how much do you know about your conflict on Discord?
Nothing. You guys are weird. I don't know anything about you guys.
Okay. Well, it's a bully zone. He's come into the channel before a long time ago, and he got relentlessly bullied.
What the fuck, guys?
It's all good fun.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure he'll come back and defend himself.
Darius says, hashtag comp sci kids are my bitches. Do whatever I say. Is that really true? Are you guys his bitch?
No, we make fun of Darius constantly.
Are you sure? Because that's not what Darius is saying.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
You ever wondered what great things you could have gone on to achieve if you invested the same amount of hours you invested in Factorio into something like learning a programming language? Has it crossed your mind?
I've thought about it, but like typically what I do when I have thoughts like that is I try to go down a list of things that I could cut from my life that would make me a how could I better allocate my time in ways that are more I guess like conducive to personal growth. And I think right now, probably the thing that I spend the most amount of time on is figuring out the most effective way to sexually please your mom. And I think if I was going to like learn something else more fruitful in life, I'd probably axe that for my schedule before Factorio.
Do you ever worry? I don't know if you have a history of this in your family, but do you ever worry of developing something like dementia or Alzheimer's?
Probably. I mean, my mom has it now. Her mom had it. I've heard that the biggest safeguards against that are diet and exercise and sleep. I think that's actually the three things. I know I've read sleep plays a big thing into it, so I try to take my sleep fairly seriously. It's probably a pretty big genetic component, and then I've heard like some amount of like exercise or physical activity is big, so I kind of do what I can, but I mean, I'm not gonna like.
I think
yeah, go ahead.
the other point is keeping your mind healthy, which invariably just means like learn new things.
I don't know if that is that. I don't know if that's a thing or not. It might, maybe. If it is, that's good.
It is.
Okay, well.
So my sister researches this stuff, and this is like I think probably the newer things that are coming out, where it's like people that have a routine and just get stuck in that routine for 50+ years.
Yeah, that sounds really bad.
Very much more likely to just develop that shit versus someone that has hobbies and like learns new hobbies consistently. But anyway, I still just think it'd be insanely entertaining to watch you learn something on stream like coding.
It would be, it would be fucking cancerous as
I
fuck.
know it would be cancer for you, but like that's not what I care about here.
Yeah, it would be endless entertainment for you, but yeah, it would probably, it would be the closest thing to pushing me to suicide, I think, probably my entire life.
That? Really?
I think so. Learning anything on stream is fucking the most difficult thing ever, yeah.
Well, I have nothing else to say, so.
Okay. Well, hey, have fun. Be careful. Stay safe, bucko. Okay?
Yep.
Be careful. I don't understand how some of these things got fucked up. What the fuck did I copy here to get this in here? How could this have possibly happened? No. Jesus. Whoa. Bruv, you're not even full. Good luck. Lex Friedman, LOL. How to improve Twitter. Oh shit. Mr. Medical going over whatever the fuck is happening to him. Dude's fucked. Apparently, after removing a tumor, his body went absolutely haywire.
Can you tell us what were your early symptoms? Thank you.
Wait, let me use this real quick. Hold on.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Seconds until minions spawn.
Okay, I just debated you so hard. Fuck. We'll watch this tomorrow, okay? I felt like I should pick Melina up from the airport since she had to fly back here. So I'm gonna go meet her there. I love you guys, it's been fun. Quick XQC update. Didn't we already watch this? We must have. We're back tomorrow. Peace out.
My team all AD'd us for real. Not that I really give a shit right now. Even in the runes, like Treasure Hunter isn't doing that well. It's Relentless Hunter and Eyeball Collection, so maybe I should try that as well. Nah, I'm gonna play what I want. I know it's good. I tell you what, if you ever outrank me in this game, you can give me feedback on what champions I can play, okay? I think that's fair, don't you guys think that's fair? I think that's fair. Seems fair to me. It should be easy to outrank me, right? Right now, I'm sitting in Diamond 4. Nice, the homies. If Echo has the balls to start blue, then I'm going to do the invade that I talked about where I come out from under. Yeah, he's going to sweep it, and then they're going to ward like here. I've learned that there's an aggressive line I can take. There's always an aggressive line you can take. Or is he not gonna sweep it? He should have already swept it, the fuck? He's not paying attention. Well, now I'm going in anyways. Because he never swept it. Now, that open was good for me. Maybe not for my team, but it was good for me. Come down and counter gank this shit as well. I can't actually go for my camps here, or for Echo's mark here. I could turn the music down a bit. I know it's a little loud, sorry. I should probably, since Echo's gonna go bot side, I should probably just go top down and... Wow, he's just tilting. So we tilted this guy. We basically probably just won the whole game off of that. He's actually like... It feels awkward to go into his jungle for Mark, for me. Maybe I can go for his blue or something. Yeah, he's just like griefing, I guess. He got zapped. What's a creature doing? Guys,
Unstoppable. Shut down. Destroyed.
You may have heard of LastPass before. After all, they are one of the most commonly shilled password managers on the market these days. And like so many of these password managers as a service companies, they have been hacked before. The last time that they got hacked was back in August of 2022, and the company was pretty good about disclosing this data breach to their customers quickly after it had happened. They posted this. This was a post on their blog by their CEO on August the 25th. And at the time that this was posted, they were pretty much like, hey guys, LastPass here. So we had a little bit of a data breach, but don't worry. There's nothing for you to be alarmed about. Your password vaults are safe. None of your personal information was obtained. So really, there's nothing for you to actually do. Hackers, they only compromised one of LastPass's developer accounts, and they stole portions of our source code and some proprietary LastPass technical information. So nothing for you to be concerned about at all. But now it turns out that the data breach was a lot more severe than LastPass had first estimated, and now, 4 months after the breach, they're making another disclosure that, yeah, user info and some password vault data is now in the hands of hackers. So what happened was the hackers used keys that they had stolen from the LastPass employee or LastPass developer to then decrypt storage volumes that were stored within their cloud-based storage services. And these cloud-based storage services, they contained a lot of metadata about LastPass customers, such as their company names, because of course, a lot of companies are outsourcing their password services to LastPass now. And some of the plain text metadata that the hackers obtained includes things like usernames used for the LastPass service, not for like individual accounts on different websites, the billing addresses, email addresses, telephone numbers, and the IP addresses from which customers were accessing the LastPass service. Wow, that's a whole lot of metadata that was leaked, which could greatly assist hackers with their reconnaissance on specific companies. Remember, metadata is valuable. That's why the NSA gathers so much of it. Now, from this leak, hackers using the metadata, they may be able to confirm whether or not a company that they have been targeting, that they've been doing their own reconnaissance on, is using LastPass. So now, from that, they can derive a lot of details about how that company is specifically using LastPass, like what specific services are they using LastPass for, email, different cloud portals, things like that. And then from that, they can improve their plan of attack based on the information that they're gathering on the company they're looking to hit. And all of this data that was collected by the hackers, it isn't really considered critical information by LastPass. You know, it's not information that would just allow them to easily pwn the accounts that you were securing with LastPass in the first place, but it gives hackers a lot of insight into how you or your organization is using the service. And the hackers could use this metadata to stage some spear phishing attacks where they take the information that they've gathered from this about you or your organization, and then they use that to pretend to be an insider. They pretend to be a fellow employee that you might trust with some more sensitive data. Now, since the hackers got access to the password vaults, they ended up copying over a lot of encrypted information in addition to that plain text metadata. So the fully encrypted sensitive data, that would be things like the usernames that people are actually using on specific websites, the passwords for those different websites and those different usernames, secure notes, and form-filled data. So all of that information is still encrypted with 256-bit AES encryption, and it can only be decrypted with a unique encryption key that LastPass derives from each user's master password using their zero-knowledge architecture. And LastPass also wants you to know that the master password is never known to LastPass and it's not stored or maintained by LastPass, so there's no way for that to get stolen as part of a LastPass breach. So to spell this out in plain English, based on the information that we have now, of course, this could change radically like it did in the last few months, as long as you had a good master password for your LastPass vault, then the sensitive information kept inside of it should be safe. As long as you followed LastPass's recommendations for a master password or similar recommendations where they're telling us to use a minimum of 12 characters and mixing upper and lower case with symbols, and they even give you a pretty good example of a master password. If you're using something like this, then it's safe to say that your password vault is still safe, because AES-256, that's very strong encryption. I don't think there's going to be any side channel attacks to worry about against that. But you know, like all of these services, the weakest line of defense is always the human. After all, that's how LastPass got hacked in the first place, through one of their human devs. So F's in the chat for the many users of LastPass out there who undoubtedly were using crappy master passwords. I'm sure that they exist. And now their vaults are just being hammered by some hacker's password cracker, probably multiple 4090s in a row churning through incredibly high hash rates to decrypt the person's vault. Hopefully there's some two-factor authentication on those accounts that they have in sight, but let's be honest, if they're using LastPass and a crappy master password, probably not. So what are the lessons that we can learn from the new details of LastPass's data breach? Well, the same things from the initial disclosure still apply, and probably more so now that we know the breach is more severe than we thought it was. Whenever you choose to centralize something, especially something as important as passwords, into an online service like this, the odds of your passwords getting stolen could actually go up. It really depends on the exact details of the credentials that you're trying to store and, of course, who you are or who your organization is, you know. But if you're just some Joe Schmo and you're running a small business, the odds of someone targeting you specifically, targeting you or targeting your business and your self-hosted password service are going to be very, very slim. But because everyone and their mother is using LastPass, it gets shilled to people. Hell, some of you might have gotten a LastPass ad before this video. LastPass themselves are now a high-value target for hackers, and they may breach their security systems, LastPass's security systems, which they did, and retrieve data for many different individuals, including Joe Schmo and his small business. You've seen several times on this channel and elsewhere that there's an entire enterprise of hackers who buy and sell stolen databases containing large sets of people's personal information. And this information always trickles down to the scammers and the spear fishers that are willing to do the dirty work of conning people. Once your information is out there, it's just a matter of time until somebody tries to use it, which is why I prefer self-hosting and decentralizing to prevent that information from getting swept up in one of these big databases in the first place. Of course, this is all assuming that you host your own password management service correctly, because on the flip side, there are bots that go out there scanning for unsecured services and can automatically pwn them. And I bet that that's the reason that so many people are choosing LastPass in the first place, because they're worried that hosting their own passwords is going to be difficult or it's going to be stressful for them to maintain. So maybe in a future video, I'll show you guys how to do self-hosted passwords. I'll probably look through, maybe sign up for a trial of LastPass just to see all the features that they're offering to people and see if I can't replicate the same thing with free open source software that is self-hosted. But for now, if you were using LastPass, just be on the alert for spear phishing attacks, people pretending to be from the organization that you work at or one of the organizations that you do business with based on these information leaks. Always think twice before giving anyone sensitive information. Like and comment, tag the algorithm, follow me on Odyssey, and have a Merry Christmas.
Welcome to Why.
Hello and welcome.
Would you run it on like a VPS with like a web server front end and
yeah,
you know, aren't there like concurrency issues with SQLite or anything like that that you wouldn't want to do it?
It does run multi-threaded, so I write Go. That's my language of choice. And you know, I've written projects in SQLite, and I will say, I guess, a few things on that topic. Like, it does well multi-threaded. Like, I can run thousands of requests at this, you know, this VPS at a time. And the fact that you can run a request, and I've done testing where I've had several queries run and an HTTP request, and the total time, and this includes rendering out HTML as well, total time to connect to the queries, pull that back, render out the front end was about 50 microseconds. The way that you develop, I find, with embedded databases tends to kind of change your mindset a bit. Like, I have this theory that all databases are actually the same. The only real difference that you have among databases is latency. So, like, once you have a client-server situation, you can't, you have issues of like n+1 queries. So really you want to optimize to get as much of your data back in a single query as possible. And you have to do joins, you have to do all kinds of, there's a lot of stuff around ORM tools where they kind of like try to batch together requests. And it's always a pain in the ass. And, that query language is what kind of really makes the difference. So, if you have graph data, you want to have a graph language. If you have document data, you want to have a document language. SQL, works on relational tables. But once you actually move all that, the storage locally into the same process as your code, you really don't even need those separate languages. I mean, they can kind of help from a usability standpoint, but from a performance standpoint, you could just as easily look up your individual, traverse your graph nodes locally using your own language versus the actual query language itself. Does that make sense?
Hey, welcome back. So the world of computing moves in cycles, and if we look back at the 1950s, we started with a very monolithic architecture where everything ran on mainframes. But then as that scaled out over time and desktop computing took hold, then we started to move towards a sort of client-server type architecture. And then time has progressed, we've moved into the internet era, and of course cloud computing has taken hold, and architecture has changed to go with that. We've started to move into microservice architecture. A lot of people, in fact most people, run that into their architectural pattern today. But now as we start to move into the metaverse type era, then things like content delivery networks, edge compute is really what's taking hold, and microservices are just scaling out like crazy. And actually, as our compute evolves, we need our data to scale out with it. We want to be able to serve up our compute, our content, our applications in a highly distributed, scalable fashion with low latency to serve those metaverse-like scenarios. Then not only do we need the computer architecture to do that, but we need the data architecture to do that. Now, as we've moved into the cloud computing era and we need that scale, you've seen relational databases evolve, and we've also seen new database technologies come in. So we've seen things like Redis, which is really a sort of in-memory caching type database that's used for key value. That's become very popular.